You will not get a complaint on the weather from anybody in this park. It is about perfect. Low 80s headed for the mid 70s and not a cloud in the sky. And it's forecasted to be the same way for tomorrow night, and that's good because TNN Motorsports will be back here live at Eldora for the 15th running of the King's Royal, the race that pays $50,000 to the winner and begins the month of money. We call it that. Well, take a look at the graphic. Here's the tracks and the big payouts in the next 30 days, and we've kind of bookended it with our coverage of the King's Royal tomorrow night, and then the final deal, which will be in the end of August, and that is the Amoco Knoxville Nationals, $100,000 to the winner. So all in all, it's one heck of a next few weeks coming up in the world of Outlaws. Well, you know about the weather, you know about the money, you know we're coming back tomorrow night. We got a great show for you tonight. So let's go down to the pits to Bobby Gerald, who's with the driver that crashed out a year ago on Friday night, big time, hit the wall, bam, came back and won on Saturday night. Who could that be, Bobby Gerald?
That would be Steve Kinzer, Steve, the guy that we talked to last week from Victory Lane at Fargo, North Dakota. Now, at Fargo, Steve had just won the main event with the help of Guy Forbrook, his new crew chief, and also Scott Gherkin, who had been his crew chief. Well, Scott has indeed called it quits. He's back home again in Indiana, and the king of the Outlaws, Steve Kinzer, he's right here at the Eldora Speedway, ready to go with the night before the King's Royal. And Steve, tonight you're here without Scott Gherkin, but with Guy Forbrook. You've timed in second quick, and what do you think of your chances so far tonight working with Guy for the first time at the Eldora Speedway?
Well, we've qualified good, so let's hope everything goes well. It's sort of hated Scott not being here, but he wanted to do some other things, and I don't know if he's going to continue helping us any around the shop or not. We'll wait and see on that a week or two down the road.
22 times you have won a World of Outlaws A-Main under the Pennzoil banner here at the Eldora Speedway. Is there any other track in the world that's like this? It seems truly unique.
No, Eldora's a track of its own. This thing can be good to you and it can be bad to you. It's probably one of the fastest tracks we run on, even when it gets slick. I enjoy running on it when it gets wide and gets right up against the wall, and it looks like to me that's the way it's going to be tonight. And the big 80% of the time that's the way it is. Again, it can be the funnest place to run on. Sometimes it can be the most upsetting place.
Steve Kinzer leading the point standings, but there's one other thing that these drivers are after here this weekend at Earl's Place, and Dave Reef can tell us exactly what that is.
Bobby, that's $50,000. That's the number 47 sprint cars are trying to aim for, but that's going on tomorrow night. There's something also going on tonight that all of these World of Outlaw drivers need to be focused on, and that is the World of Outlaw points chase. Over 20 years of racing, it has never, ever been this tight. Just 68 points separating the first through fourth drivers. As you said, Steve Kinzer is in the points lead. He's 44 points better than Mark Kinzer. Stevie Smith and Sammy Swindell are third and fourth. As I said, 68 points separating them. You toss in Andy Hillenburg. 33 of the 48 A-Mains that they have raced in 1998 belong to the top 5 drivers. The other 5, Danny Lasoski and Johnny Herrera, are battling out for 6th. There are 6 points separating them. That's the tightest battle. Jeff Swindell separates Tyler Walker and Dale Blaney as they battle it out for the Rookie of the Year honors. How much money is on the line at the end of the Pennzoil World of Outlaw season? $180,000. That's something you got to keep in mind. This is only $50,000, so there is a lot more at stake in tonight's points race. Steve Evans.
Oh, yeah, there is, but these drivers want to get rich quick. In the next few weeks, you can do that. You could triple your season earnings with a great performance in the next few races.
$180,000 to win the points, but there's close to $300,000 money in this next month. A lot of guys will tell you that the 48 races run prior to this event were just hot laps, getting ready for this month of money. With the Knoxville Nationals coming up, things like that. Now, the guys tonight are running engines tuned for tomorrow night. They're getting their fuel systems and things ready, but they build an engine and they'll run it tonight, make sure all the bugs are worked out, getting ready for that 50 grand tomorrow night.
This is a track that favors experience because the wall is so intimidating.
Oh, intimidating is the word. This place intimidates the best of them. If your car's not right, it can really scare you, and to run fast, you got to run right up against the wall. And the guys that generally do the best here do have a lot of laps. They know how to get their race car comfortable, and that's the key to running against the wall at these speeds.
Comfortable. I can't imagine that. We'll be back with 4 lightning-quick heat races featuring the greatest drivers in the Pennzoil World of Outlaws here from Eldora. A great racetrack, a great race here on TNN Motorsports Live.
The Eldora Clash tonight on TNN Motor Madness.
Man, the first time I looked at a picture of me, I was like, wow, Wayne, what happened? I was fat. I lost over 50 pounds on a slim, fast plan. I finally found something that worked for me. It's easy. It tastes great. Once I lost the weight, my energy skyrocketed right through the roof. It makes you feel good after working out.
23 vitamins and minerals, protein, calcium, fiber, all the balanced nutrition like a healthy meal.
I look at life totally different now.
Slim Fast, every day. Balanced nutrition for a healthy life.
Anybody can do it if I can do it.
July 25th on TNN Motorsports. With only a handful of races left, the points battle is heating up. But it doesn't matter if you're at the top or at the bottom, rookie or veteran, male or female. Someone is always looking for a pocket full of cash and a trip to victory lane. It's live Busch Grand National Racing. It's the Lycos.
Back in 1954. Let's take a look at the format for tonight. Pretty typical of the Outlaws. 4 heat races of 8 laps each. Top 5 advance to the A main. The trick there is they invert the top 6. Channel lock dash, that's 8 cars, 5 laps to determine the starting order of the A main and a bonus check. The C main, well, it'll go 10 laps around this big half mile. The top 2 finishers transfer to the B. The rest of them go home. The B main, 12 laps. Top 4 finishers transfer to the A main, but they get their time trial back and might not start at the very rear. And the main event, a whopping 30 laps, Brad Doody.
And a whopping 30 laps it is. This place is fast. The racetrack is great tonight.
Okay, Dave Reap, who was the fast time trialer tonight? I believe we're looking at him, actually, in the first heat.
Absolutely, the channel lock car of Sammy Swindell, that Stell chassis getting the job done in the 13-1 range. Not quite the track record of 12-9. But if you remember back to last Friday night, the last time we saw Sammy, he was one very upset driver because his race car was not handling the way he wanted it to. So what they have done in the meantime is change the generator in the mag. They've also worked on the ignition box, changed the fuel around a little bit, and changed plugs. And obviously, they have found something that has worked because they were able to come back in the big A main at Fargo, win that, as well as set quick time here tonight.
They're not sure exactly what they found, but the problem's gone away, and that's all they care about. How about the lineup here for heat number 1? There's going to be 12 cars, and we'll start with Joey Saldana from Brownsburg, Indiana, on the front row on the pole, so to speak. Donnie Schatz, he'll be around from Minot, North Dakota. We've got Dale Blaney, followed by Mark Kinzer, Danny Lasoski, Sammy Swindell. He's quick, so he starts in the 3rd row. Remember I said they invert the top 6. Bob Adamson, the 2A car. There's Danny Smith driving his own car again. 51 Keith Crabtree, 0 car. That's Peter Murphy. And 22J, we'll find Billy Jarrow.
Our graphics kind of butchered Dale Blaney there at Blancy or something. That's Dale Blaney in the 93.
I knew that. Bobby Jarrow?
Joey Saldana, guys, starting on the front row of this heat race in car number 17, won a World of Outlaws preliminary night feature event already this season here at the Eldora Speedway. So unlike some of the other tracks where we see the locals running at the tail end of the field, at this racetrack, you've got a bunch of guys from Ohio, Indiana, and Pennsylvania that flat know how to get around this half mile, and they're going to show us how right now.
I tell you, watch that number 1 channel lock car come out of the 3rd row. Sammy Swindell, he whipped him like dogs last Saturday night at Fargo when he got his problems licked.
That's out of turn 2 right there. Well, a nice camera shot. We got somebody up in the wall. Oh, the 51.
Yeah, that is Keith Crabtree out of West Jefferson, Ohio. And is that going to bring out a yellow?
Yeah,
Yes, it
he
will.
stopped on the inside down there, Steve.
He almost saved it. He got into the wall about the apex between 1 and 2. And had he not torn the suspension off it, he might have got it back to the pits or back into the race. But
yeah, I don't know what happened yet, but he definitely put her in a fence and folded the front axle back. We're going to get a look at it here. Okay, this is into turn 1. He's already in the wall there. Yeah, at this point, he's just hanging on the no steering whatsoever. Now, right there, he's on the throttle pretty hard yet. Maybe he bent the floor pan or something up into it. That's still throttling pretty hard there. Lucky he didn't drive into the inside wall.
yeah, I don't think he was just trying to get the car up the racetrack.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, while the emergency crews do their job for 51C Keith Crabtree, we'll take a real quick break. Wave to everybody in Rossburg, Ohio. All of you across North America, stay with us live on TNN.
Every so often, something comes along so good, it's almost evil. Something that can't be explained, but only embraced. The Outlaw Performance Fuel Additives. The Outlaw. The additive with attitude.
Rusty, it's a woodchuck and he's hurt. Rusty, it's up to you.
Cooper Tire Invitational, a short par 3,000 teeing off from D.C. There's water to the right and a very tough pin placement deep in Maine. Quick recap. Our leader, nice layup. Then a great 4-iron here in Manhattan, and this tough shot over the giant green monster. Bill?
Thanks, Jim. Let's listen in.
Nice call on these Cooper tires. Good grip.
Back to you, Jim.
A quick peek to the back 9. Hole 10 starts off in Belgium.
The world is your course. Drive on.
See shows by the seashore.
Now the sounds of the surf are accompanied by the sounds of over 100 shows and attractions. Call for your free Myrtle Beach Entertainment Holiday Planner and South Carolina Travel Guide. And see shows by the seashore.
Motor Madness, brought to you by Pennzoil. Formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil. And by Miller Lite, who remind you that whenever you feel good, it's Miller time. And by Cooper Tire and Rubber Company. Cooper Tire. The world is your course. Drive on.
We're back live in Eldora. The shadows starting to lengthen. The crowd having a great time. This is one unique racetrack we can tell you about as we go on the next 3 hours. Having a wonderful
Hey,
time.
nice T-shirt there. Did you see that?
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Your name was spelled wrong, though. Oh, well. Okay, we're looking for a full restart of heat number 1. We had a car get into the wall in case you just joined us. And we have got an onboard camera with none other than last year's Rookie of the Year, Donnie Schatz, the number 17 car, the shot right over the nose. The camera, unlike the driver, can see the front wheels, Fred.
Yeah, where the camera is mounted, the camera can see it, but yeah, from the drivers. And again, the reason for that, all the dirt and debris that gets thrown at these drivers, they have the hood as high as they can get it so they don't get plastered with all these rocks and things.
And Donnie Schatz, not only last year's Woo Rookie of the Year, he is this year's North Dakota Athlete of the Year. Only 20. Nice kid. Here we go. We should get a green this time.
And the rules state whenever there's a restart, the first lap is a complete restart. That's why they're double fouled.
Rex Lejeune is the starter, and he's got that green out. Sammy Swindell slicing and dicing, trying to come up through the pack in that blue number 1 car. But how about Donnie Schatz?
There's Sammy putting a slide job on Dale Blaney. Down the front straightaway.
Joey Saldana in the lead. Remember now, 5 will transfer. Only the top 5 after 8 quick laps.
Daniel Lasoski in the 83 Beef Packers car. Boy, the racetrack is in great shape right now, Steve. I mean, it's got enough moisture that they're running wide open.
Right now, Dale Blaney, that Amoco car, does not have a transfer spot, I don't believe. Yep, he does. He's in 5th, trying to hang on to it.
That is for the transfer spot.
So it's Saldana, Donnie Schatz, Mark Kinzer, Sammy Swindell, and Dale Blaney, the top 5.
You can see the different lines. Mark Kinzer running a little bit higher than 1 and 2, or Schatz, and Mark Kinzer kind of running in the middle there. It's out of turn 4. They're lapping the car. 22, I believe, yeah.
Well, only Joey Saldana has had a lot of daylight between himself and 2nd place, but he may get into traffic here even before 8 laps are done.
Isn't that incredible in an 8-lap heat race to maybe get into traffic? That's how fast these front runners are going here. That's Sammy set a fast time at 13.1.
On the last lap, goes our leader, number 17.
Joey Saldana. He's got a lot of what I talked about in the opener, Steve, the experience. Joey Saldana has won a lot of races here, has a lot of experience, and that's why he qualified so well and started in the heat race. There's a transfer battle.
Not going to get him. The top 5 going directly to the A feature tonight will be number 17, Saldana, 15, Schatz. Mark Kinzer in the 5M car, Sammy in the number 1 car, and last, but certainly not least, it doesn't matter if you're 1st or 5th as long as you're one of those, and that is Dale Blaney.
Well, you know, and Daniel Lasoski, you have to look at it his standpoint that it's not a bad thing. You know, you run the B main, you can test again, it's another hot lap session. So at his point of view right now, he's got to think, well, we'll just get it in the B main and figure the car out.
I'm not sure he's thinking like that. Let's go down to Bobby.
All right, as we get set for our 2nd heat race, it will be the driver of car number 47, the Strange Performance Racing entry of Johnny Herrera, who will start on the pole. And Johnny, you won the Kings Royal here in 1996, but tonight you're points racing, and you and Danny Lasoski are locked in a good battle.
Yeah, we're only about 6 points between the two of us there, and you know, tonight we didn't get qualified very good, so we're going to see if we can start in the front of the heat race, get through there, have to start the back of the feature, but we usually can rush this Casey General Store car to the front, so hopefully we can get her done.
Good luck to you, Johnny.
Thank you.
Dave Reef.
Bobby, you mentioned we got drivers from all over. We got a lot of locals, too. Frankie Kerr's here from the All-Stars. Want to dial him up on his webpage? There's the address. He's going to start right behind Johnny Herrera, who's the 6th qualified car tonight. A great qualifying effort for you.
Yeah, the Show Motorsports Eagle was really good qualifying, and hopefully we can get up through this heat race and get into the dash and make a good run at it.
He will start 5th in heat race number 2, guys.
Well, that means he time trialed pretty well if he's starting back in 5th. Remember, they do invert the quick 6. Thank you for all those TNN banners. We are TNN, and we'll be back live to Rossburg, Ohio, right after this.
You heard about the high endurance deodorant challenge from Old Spice? It's great at stopping odor. But what if you got to stop sweat? Well, now High Endurance makes a powerful new antiperspirant. A white solid that goes on clear. See? No white flakes. So you can stay dry without the white mess you get from some other antiperspirants. Guaranteed. Or call 1-800-PROVE-IT and Old Spice will buy you a stick of yours. So take the challenge. Because this is more than just an antiperspirant. This is the high endurance of antiperspirants.
Hey, Bob, we're hot for you. Love Pop-Tarts.
They have frosting. They have real fruit filling. They have a sense of humor. With Kellogg's Pop-Tarts, something fun always pops up.
Today, people who didn't send the money Western Union and the heartbreak it caused. Meet Sue and her boyfriend. Ex-boyfriend, Mike. What happened, Sue?
My car broke down. I called Mr. Wonderful here. Send money, I said.
And he didn't use Western Union.
No, and it took forever. I had to spend hours with the tow truck guy.
Mm-hmm. Meet Sue's new fiance, the tow truck guy, Lyle!
Hey, it's your money. Use Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
Want 50% more shine stuff? Get new Ultra Shine Protectant from Armor All. It's the ultimate shine.
When you build a country by hand, you're going to get a little dirty doing it. And for over 100 years, dirty hands have been coming clean with lava soap. Today, there's liquid lava with the heavy-duty cleaning power of pumice in a pump. Lava.
We're back live having a grand time at the Benzo World of Outlaws, the Eldora Clash in Rossburg, Ohio. Hi, everybody. I was out with that crowd last year, remember?
Yeah.
Got a little
long
spooky
time
later on in the show. Right now, as you hear Heat 2 warming up and you see him, let's go down to Bobby Joe with the winner of Heat 1.
That's right. His name is Joey Saldana. We told you all about Joey during the heat race. Nice run there. You got into traffic in a heat race. You see that a lot?
Well, I don't know what happened qualifying. The Outlaws said they didn't get our time, and, you know, we were running 13.1s and 13.2s there in the heat, and we qualified, you know, a 13.6. That's 21st quick, so we got a long way to go. Hopefully we can keep it up like we did in the heat, and maybe we can get up there with them guys.
All right, Joey, nice job. Dave Reef?
Hey, joining Joey Saldana in that race were 5 World of Outlaw racers, and when they only take 5 to the A main, that means something's got to give, and for Danny Lasoski, unfortunately, that's you.
Yeah, I tell you what, they had the racetrack so fast tonight. Once you got moving, it's hard to pass anybody, but that might make an excuse. So we just didn't get the job done, and I really hate it for Beef Packers, American Press Steel, all the guys back home. Starting on the front wheel of the dash, just blew it. Now we got to run the beat.
Oh, but he'll be a terror when he gets to that B. Look for him to transfer back to the A. How about the lineup for heat number 2? It will be on the pole, so to speak. Johnny Herrera to Tempe, Arizona, native of Albuquerque. Kevin Huntley, Bloomington, Indiana, in the 7 car. 17S is Butch Schrader from Ohio. A lot of Buckeyes in this field. Craig Delansky out of Minnesota. Frankie Kerr from Fremont, Ohio, in the 23S car. Steve Kinzer, 14-time Outlaw champion, the points leader, the green 11 Quaker State car. Keith Kaufman, he is hot in his home state of Pennsylvania. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Then there's Larry Neighbors. And how about Bobby Allen, 1A, old Scruffy from Hanover, Pennsylvania, won the first ever Woo-sanctioned outlaw race here at Eldora, and that was April 16th, 1978. Rounding out the field is Charlie Baker, Alan Schmidt, and Jim Burgoon, and we are on board the 47 car with Johnny Herrera.
There it is. All out there by himself. That's where he wants to be. Generally, he's on the outside of the front row. And generally here at Eldora, the outside front row has the best spot. And guys will tell you sometimes they'll finish second in the A main just to get that outside spot because you're coming down off the banking for the start.
Look at that. Does that say power? Does that say nature? Does that say the sun's going down? Yeah, it says all those things.
I like to listen to the sounds of the engine. Boy, that just idling around there, they sound fast.
Alcohol burning, 400 cubic inch, fuel injected motors, basically patterned after the Chevrolet with a couple of exceptions. And how about Keith Kaufman, the U2 car? He's been so hot in Pennsylvania. I mean, just got a streak going. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and he's been running the All-Stars the last couple of years and running right up front there, too. He's got some laps around this place, but unfortunately he didn't qualify real well, starting kind of far back.
Oh, it's the 7 car of Kevin Huntley. What a brilliant job through turns 1 and 2 as he sweeps into 3 and now comes out of 4.
Boy, Herrera slid back all the way back to fighting for 4th right now. We got a caution.
Yep, we have got a caution, and that's probably good for Johnny Herrera, who got a terrible start, and I have him in the pool. I pushed that. No, I didn't. They didn't like the second row of this start, so Outlaw officials have said, no, let's line him up again.
What a break for Herrera.
They kind of told him in the drivers' meeting they were going to be strict tonight on the starts. They felt maybe the drivers have been getting away with a few little pranks, but they warned him, not tonight, boys.
Well, again, they start out of turn 4. There's a white line, and the guys on the inside might try a little few head games to try to get the jump because, like I said earlier, generally the outside row is a little faster coming down off the banking.
That was Rex Lejeune, the starter. His brother's also the announcer, and a darn good one. You know, this racetrack looks like it's going to hold some moisture tonight, Brett. It may be as good at the end as it is right now.
Well, we got some cloud cover for the last couple hours here before we went on the show, and that helped keep the moisture in the racetrack. And boy, it is fast. The looser the racetrack, the actual faster it is to a point at Eldora, because if the car's too tight, it just scrubs too much speed.
I always love to watch Steve Kinzer, the number 11 car, outside of the 3rd row in these heat races. Once he's pretty sure or confident he's got a transfer position in that top 5, he'll start playing with this racetrack. He'll go high here, then he'll come back the next lap and go low, learning everything he can.
That's the learning process. Oh boy, and Kevin Huntley either did not get a start. Something happened.
No, it's Herrera.
Well, no, the 7 car started on the
maybe they put him
outside
in the back.
front row. He just never took off on the start. Something happened, and he just couldn't.
Look at Steve Kinzer. He's right behind Johnny Herrera, followed by Trader, Delansky, and Carey. Here's the fight for 4th and 5th between Delansky and Carey, 21G and 23S.
Frankie Kerr there going into turn 3, coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, Kerr's in 5, in the 5th spot, the last transfer spot.
That's Larry Neighbors in the 29, right behind him. And actually looks like he's gaining.
Yeah. Going back up front with Johnny Herrera, the white 47 car. That's Steve Kinzer.
Boy, what a break that was for Herrera as he's back to 3rd or 4th, and now he's leading this thing.
And there's the onboard shot off the back of Herrera's number 47 car. You're looking at Steve Kinzer.
You know, this shot, Steve's kind of deceiving because it's like the mirrors on your car where it says Vodges in the mirror closer than they appear.
Yep, good point.
It's not as far back to that car as you see from this angle as it looks from our in-car camera.
You're right, it is the lens. Not that he much cares about winning the heat, but Steve Kinzer is doing exactly what I said he'd do. He's running the middle of the track this particular lap. He ran around the rim the lap before. The white flag is out just a half a mile.
Oh, look at this. Herrera got hung up behind this lap car.
Yep.
And let Steve close right in on him. But Steve's not going to try anything.
Whoa, and Herrera goes high coming out of 4. This is the last lap. The King comes down low and cannot do it. And here's the battle for the transfer spot.
Frankie Kerr got the transfer.
The 23S car of Frankie Kerr will go directly to the feature. Will bypass that dreaded B main. Johnny Herrera, boy, took advantage of his second chance. All right, let's go down with Dave Reef.
I am down with Greg Hodnett, driver of the Vibrant car, who's really been struggling through the 1998 season. And Greg, sometimes it's nice to catch a break when you don't time trial so well. You're on the front row on a fast racetrack.
Yeah, right now, like I said, we are on the front row, but that just means the qualifies so bad. We just want to take advantage of being on the front row. We lowered the gear a little bit to try to beat them guys down the straightaway, hopefully get a good run into the first turn and keep the lead the rest of the race.
He's on the pole. Bobby Gerald is standing by further back.
Kenny Jacobs will start inside the third row. And Kenny, 6 cars inverted, but only 5 transfer, and it's only 8 laps. How tough is this heat?
Every heat race so far has been tough, so I know this is going to be just as tough. I have a good race car underneath me. The J.J. Kleiner car's fast, and we'll just try to get her to the front.
Have fun, man.
All right, thanks.
Kenny Jacobs won 2 World of Outlaws feature events here in 1994, Steve.
And has the eyes of a fighter pilot. All right, we'll be back for heat number 3 here on a beautiful early evening in Rossburg, Ohio. You stay with us live here on TNN Motorsports. Another Doty banner.
Every so often, something comes along so good, it's almost evil. Something that can't be explained, but only embraced. The Outlaw Performance Fuel Additive. The Outlaw. The additive with attitude.
Mambo into Red Lobster and try our 30 shrimp dinner. Pick the 2 shrimp dishes that suit you. We pile on 30 shrimp for under 10 bucks. That's a lot of shrimp for just $9.99. The shrimp are jumping. So hurry in for your 30 shrimp dinner at Red Lobster. 'Cause life on land is dry.
We are back at Eldora Speedway, one of the most famous dirt tracks in America. And let me tell you, these people are all camping. There's no hotels for over an hour from here. So everybody's making a weekend out of it. Tomorrow night, the King's Royal, and they'll all rest up on Saturday night and drive home on Sunday. Tyler's #1, but Dave has the winner of heat number 2.
And that man is Johnny Herrera, who, Steve, you coined as Hollywood Herrera. And Johnny, it looked like maybe the Hollywood was back there in that heat race. Didn't go the first time, but looked pretty good the second time around.
Yeah, the motor didn't take off there on the first start, and it actually didn't take off that second start neither. I just decided to start a little bit earlier, and we got a jump on that time, but motor just wasn't taking off real good there on the start. But we'll work on it and try to get this Casey General Store car to the front.
It's looking pretty good so far, Bob Gerald.
Steve Kinzer having a discussion with his crew chief, Guy Forbrook, right now after running that last heat race. And Steve, sorry to interrupt. Everything all right?
Yeah, we're just discussing stuff. Just having a little bit of trouble in 1 and 2, so we'll see to do some adjustments.
All right, it got interesting there late in the race. Steve made a run on Johnny Herrera. He's safely in the main, Steve, and I think that's what these guys are most concerned with right now. This conversation is basically a debriefing that almost all drivers will go through with their crew chiefs after a heat race.
And Brad, you check the body language there on Kinzer?
What he's saying is it's banging the left rear, getting in the corner. These cars with the wing on a high bank racetrack like this, when it gets down, the wing pushes down the left rear. So he's saying they basically need to stiffen the left side of the car up, probably, because it's banging the frame rails getting into the corner. And that loosens the car up. When it gets down, it bangs the frame. It's like you folks at home that you're driving down the road and you hit a patch of ice or snow on the road and the car jumps out from under you. That's exactly what it feels like here at Eldora.
I hate it when that happens. All right, here's the lineup for heat number 3, next to the last on your dance card. Starting inside the front row will be Greg Hodnett out of Memphis, Tennessee. The 11H car 92, that's Dean Jacobs, an Ohio driver. 9F is Sarah Fisher. She's an interesting young lady out of Asheville, Ohio. Jeff Shepard, who won last night up at Attica Speedway, a very special night. Kenny Jacobs in the 94 car, number 2, the track record holder. It's Andy Hillenburg. 35 is Tyler Walker, the killer kid from California, trying to be Rookie of the Year. Eddie Neumeister in the 11N car. 99H finds Donnie Chesky at the wheel. Then Ken Burton in 6C, Fred Boso in 7B, and 22J Billy Gerald from West Virginia.
When you talk about Jeff Shepard win last night at Attica Raceway Park, Dean Jacobs in the 92 outside front row took a nasty flip, and this is a brand new race car for tonight, so I'm sure he's a little sore.
Okay, we got a young lady in this one, and she is in the second row.
They won't let this go because Hodnett got a little bit of a jump there, and we got one in the wall. Down in turn 1 and 2, we got a car up in the wall.
Tire flying off.
The 2B of Jim Burgoon, who started in the last row. So that's the second car we've seen getting into turn 1, and I don't think there's a problem with the racetrack.
And both cars that had problems started either last or next to last.
And that's experience we're talking about, Steve. The guys in the back are a little slower. Obviously, they're back there because of their time and just not used to these speeds, possibly. I mean, it could have been something that broke that put him in the wall, but we're going to get a look at it right here. Look on the left side. Oh, there's a car sideways, a black car right there. Okay, that's Tyler Walker. He saves it. Oh, here comes the car right there. Boy, and he hit it early into the wall. Usually if they're going to hit...
They're going to hit a little bit earlier than that. You're absolutely right.
Well, a little later, up in the apex of the corner.
Okay, as they clear the race car off the track, we'll take a real quick break and be back with driving excitement. Stay with us.
If these windows could talk, they wouldn't tell you how Fleetwood craftsmen build each home by hand, but about favorite family dinners. And they might not mention our solid steel frames, but they'd tell you about pillow fights and pajamas. Because at Fleetwood, we know the quality that counts most in a home is the quality of life inside. Fleetwood Homes, quality for life. Call 1-800-350-2300 for a Fleetwood Homes retailer near you.
My cat is my life. Some people say it's because I'm middle-aged and single, but I say it's because my Mr. Boots is quite a decorator. Once, I saw one of his huge fur balls and thought, what a beautiful shade of beige. It'll look great on my deck. Hi. So I took it to True Value. Can you match this? Then she created a perfect match. There you go. Thank you. I let her keep the fur ball. We don't want to keep that color to ourselves.
Join Gary Chapman as he brings out the best each night with the brightest stars. Primetime Country, Monday through Thursday, 9 Eastern on TNN. Brought to you by Kellogg's, with good taste, nutrition, and value. The best of you each morning from Kellogg's.
Hey, no, down here. Instead of running out for stamps, shouldn't you be running your business? Imagine a simpler way. Get the personal post office from Pitney Bowes. Send mail without ever going out for stamps. Just weigh, punch in the postage, and voila. Professionally metered mail and no wasted postage. You can also add a personal message to get your mail noticed. And postage refills by phone in 30 seconds, day or night. Now listen up, because here's what you'll get. Besides a lot more time.
You'll get the personal post office and money-saving electronic scale.
So there's no wasted postage.
For a 90-day free trial.
Free is good.
You'll also get the Mail Marketer software.
Create really nifty direct mail to help your business grow.
Call now for your 90-day free trial, and you'll also get our Mail Marketer software absolutely free.
Now watch your business grow. Hey, I look good in red.
Be ready for the postage rate change. Call now for your 90-day free trial.
The personal post office. Mailing made simple.
TNN Motorsports brings you the greatest show on dirt. And tomorrow night, we've got more great sprint car racing from Eldora Speedway. The Pennzoil World of Outlaws will fight for the $50,000 winner's check in the 15th annual Kings Royal. Tune in tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, just a 2-hour show now, right here on TNN Motorsports. Okay, we've got a complete restart of heat number 3. They didn't even complete one official lap, Brad Doty, and we should see the green the next time by.
Yeah, they're lined up. Officials like the way everybody's in their positions. They'll go green.
Tell me about Sarah Fisher, the 9F car back in the 3rd row.
I tell you, she's a really good racer. I mean, they got a new Maxim car this year, and talked to her in the pits earlier. She really likes the feel of this race car, but talking about going midget racing next year, maybe.
Really?
Yeah,
she's a very slightly built young lady. I mean, not a lot of body strength.
Well, and you wouldn't know it the way she drives that race car either.
No, you wouldn't. Power steering helps. Craig Hodnett, the 11H car, slides back.
Dean Jacobs on the 92, getting a nice jump, taking the lead. There's Andy Hillenburg. There's Kenny Jacobs. He ran second last night. He won the historical big one in '94 here. He's won a lot of races here, and that experience, and again, will pay off for him later on if he gets in the A main okay.
Greg Hodnett trying to make up for a rather poor start. The driver to Memphis, Tennessee. Started on the pole and lost the grip.
Kenny Jacobs, that's Andy Hillenburg in the black number 2.
And he is in the final transfer spot. Hillenburg running 5th.
With Jacobs trying to get by him. There's Tyler Walker, turned 19 years old yesterday. And dyed his hair white in that event.
Why not?
Oh, and Jacobs bumped the wall and come out of turn 2 a little bit.
Yep.
Didn't slow him down a whole lot.
All right, there is the 2 car. That is Andy Hillenburg. He is still riding in that 5th spot, trying to fight off the car just behind him. That's Kenny Jacobs.
Yeah. Jacobs isn't quite as good out of turn 2 as he is down here in 3 and 4.
That's the battle right there. One goes directly to feature. One has to try to come out of the B main.
This is our shot out of turn 2.
I love that shot.
See how high they're getting already just in the heat races coming out of turn 2, how close that cushion is to the wall.
Yep, Steve Kinzer predicted that it happened more and more during the evening. All right, leader, Kenny.
It's Dean Jacobs
Dean
right there in the 92.
Yep.
He's not feeling any aches and pains after last night right now, that's for sure.
No, and how about Jeff Shepard, huh? He's looking good.
Dean drives to the inside into turn 3.
All right, let's go back and check out the transfer spot. Andy Hillenburg, the 2 car. Kenny Jacobs. And here's your transfer. Hillenburg, Andy Hillenburg, the track record holder here at Eldora at 12 seconds and change. Imagine that, a half mile in under 13 seconds. He's the man that did it, and he got a transfer spot here. But really got to tip the cap to Dean Jacobs. And Bobby Gerald is down there with another young man they expect a lot of tonight and tomorrow night, Bob.
Boy, that's right, Steve Evans. I'm standing alongside Stevie Smith, who drives the homegrown car number 19 of Smith Racing. But tonight, a Westmar racing engine under the hood. Steve, you guys, I know, had a little motor problem, and so what's the reason behind putting the Westmar under the hood tonight?
Well, we decided to put a Westmar in the Ingersoll Rand car. We got a little bit behind on our own engines, but he's always been a good friend of ours, and he had one to be able to help us out. So we're going to run it for a couple races, and meanwhile, we're going to try to work on our own engines.
And we'll see its first big test here in heat race number 4 in just a moment. Dave Reef?
A lot on the line in this race for Jac Haudenschild. That's because the 8th quick qualified car could sit on the front row of the dash. 2 cars that did qualify better than him didn't transfer, so it's real important for you. You could be looking at a front row spot on the dash.
Yeah, we qualified a little bit bad, so we're just going to go and try and make it through our heat race and hopefully start up front in the dash.
A little bit bad, 8th?
Yeah, we were just a little off there, so we're just trying to get a little bit better here for the dash.
And Jack is currently 12th in Woo points because he missed 3 races with a shoulder injury, but he has bounced back and won a total of 7 A-mains in 1998 and has won 7 Vivarin career dashes. All right, that's the story on Jac Haudenschild as he buckles up. And you can unbuckle, maybe head off into the kitchen, grab yourself something to cool off with, because we'll be back with heat number 3 right after this.
Today, people who didn't send the money Western Union and the heartbreak it caused. Meet Sue and her boyfriend. Ex-boyfriend, Mike. What happened, Sue?
My car broke down. I called Mr. Wonderful here. Send money, I said.
And he didn't use Western Union.
No, and it took forever. I had to spend hours with the tow truck guy.
Mm-hmm. Meet Sue's new fiance, the tow truck guy, Lyle!
Hey, it's your money. Use Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
The Myrtle Beach area of South Carolina is thrilling, chilling, fun in the sun.
Racing.
Chasing for everyone. Gliding, sliding, and adrenaline high. Roaring, soaring from sea to sky. Whining, dining for 60 miles. Dancing and prancing. Come catch the smiles. The Myrtle Beach area of South Carolina is waiting for you with thousands of incredibly fun things to do. Call 1-800-217-2632 for your free Myrtle Beach area and South Carolina travel guide. Yeah!
How a secret agent eats a Reese's peanut butter cup. I slip in unnoticed, penetrate the defenses, secure the discs, then destroy the evidence. There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's.
What's the human up to?
Waiting on the pest control guy again.
Don't worry, he never shows. Oh, no! They call Terminix.
For service when you want it, the way you want it. Call 1-800-TERMINIX. No bugs, no hassles.
It happens every year in some of the most remote stretches of land in Mexico. And in the world of off-road racing, it's truly the whole enchilada, the legendary Baja 1000. A mountain of dust for those who can stand to eat it, and the end of the line for those who can't. That's why more drivers who challenge the Baja rely on the Duralast battery than any other. The same Duralast you can rely on in your car, because it's the one we stock at AutoZone. The Duralast battery. Power you can depend on.
Motor Madness, brought to you by the more than 1,900 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Well, with most of America suffering intense heat, record heat, we are blessed here in Rossburg, Ohio, with a beautiful sunset mild temperatures, and we sympathize with all of you who don't have these current conditions. Let's go down to Bobby, who's got the win repeat number 3.
That's right. His name is Dean Jacobs, and he won that heat race with no brakes. Steve Evans, Dean Jacobs, how do you win a heat race at Eldora with no brakes?
Well, it's not too bad when you're out front by yourself because you keep your momentum up, carry your speed. I caught a couple lap cars there. That makes it a little hairy when you get the lap cars because, you know, they were a little loose and had to get out of the gas. But when you're by yourself, it ain't too bad.
Dean Jacobs told us earlier that he's not feeling any effects from his flip last night in the All-Star show at Attica. Dave Reef?
Bobby, I'm down with his brother, Kenny Jacobs, who started 5th and did not get into the A-main tonight, partially because you hit the wall coming off of turn 2. Take us back through that.
Well, I just, my only chance was to try to get around Andy there, and I had to get a run coming through 1 and 2 to get him down there in 3 and 4, and we just got in the wall, and that actually screwed it up even worse, so we just didn't make it.
How hard do you guys actually hit that wall?
I hit it pretty good there. I don't know if it bent anything up or not. They got the right rear off from it, so I don't know.
Best of luck in the B.
Okay, let's take a look at the lineup for heat number 4. That's our final heat. It'll be Joe Gaerte, son of the engine builder, in the 8H car. Brian Paulus in the 28 machine. Brooke Catnell in the 7K car. Darren Pittman has a 21 in his wing. Jac Haudenschild has always done well here. In fact, this racetrack has been a cash cow for that young man in the 22 car. Stevie Smith, number 19. We talked to him earlier with his great big smile and a new motor. Steve Suver, Todd Kane, the 36S and 5 car, tie up row number 4. Moving down through the field just a little bit in row number 5, and we're underway. Chris Simon and Jeff Swindell. And at the very back is Ken Walters in number 12.
Boy, and they're all jammed up down in turn 1 and 2. They all make it through okay. There's Haudenschild, there's Darren Pittman, Stevie Smith, that's Jeff Swindell. Jeff Swindell qualified 40th. The engine's overheating in time trials, so they definitely had a severe problem. There's Haudenschild putting a slide job, the old Eldora slide job.
Yeah, what is surprised? Jeff Swindell is, I believe, in this program tonight, the only non-Chevrolet-based power plant. That's a Ford, and usually it's very stout.
Yeah, they've been struggling with it this year, though, Steve. They've been, you know, the Chevys have caught up. At one time, the Ford was very dominant and won some championships. Boy, the last couple of years, the Chevrolet design has caught up with them and maybe surpassed it, and they're struggling a little bit.
I'll tell you, struggling a little bit is Stevie Smith in the black 19 car, because he right now is tenaciously holding on to the 5th spot. You just saw Jeff Swindell in the red 104 octane car. Here's the fight for the 2nd spot, and look at the Hod, the yellow car.
I think Haudenschild could run pretty good at this track in the push truck. He's always gotten around pretty well here. He's won the Kings Royal. He's won the historical big one. He has probably taken $500,000 out of this racetrack over the years. That's the 22 car, the yellow car. Going down low. Right there. He's going to stay real tight on the 2 now, trying to get some moisture and get a bite up off the turn 2. Just didn't have a good enough run.
Nope, Todd Kane stays right with him and ahead of him. Haudenschild has worked his way up to the 3rd spot, so he's got to transfer.
Boy, Todd Kane's got a good run.
Look at that. Todd pulled the trigger.
Yep, that's that slide job. What that does, you're so fast and you literally don't lift the throttle. You turn the car and you just drive up on in front of him and take the line from him. There's Joe Gaerte, our leader.
Yep, he's coming up on a white flag. This is the last lap. They're coming up on the checker. That's it. Let's go back and see who gets that final transfer spot. They're hungry for it. It will be Stevie Smith, the number 19 car, the black machine. But there's the man of the moment. That is 8H. That is Joe Gaerte. A great drive. His top speed on that last lap was 117 miles an hour. Some of the other cars were running a little bit faster than that, but he had all he needed. And that is an average top speed, by the way, not the...
Boy, this is a fast racetrack.
All right, down with the man who is the reigning Pennzoil World of Outlaws champion from last season. Here's Bobby Gerald.
Sammy Swindell is standing down here, and still a little bit of time before he gets set to go in tonight's dash. But Sammy, the Eldora Speedway so far this year for you has been a pretty good racetrack. You've picked off both of the World of Outlaws A-feature events here at the Speedway and set quick time so far tonight.
Yeah, Channel Lock teams did a good job with this stealth car, and every time we've been here, it's been working pretty good. We wasn't expecting to get quick time. We really wasn't looking for it, but car feels great.
Last week when we were with you at Fargo, we know you were chasing some problems. You obviously got those remedied because you won the feature event the following night, and then had some quick change gears go away on you at Wisconsin. But you feel like you're over the hump as far as the problem you were looking for?
Well, I don't know. You always think you're over it, but sometimes things crop up and, you know, jump out there and bite you. We put a brand new set of gears in that they wanted me to try, and only made 12 laps. So, you know, it's not a lack from trying to put new parts, new pieces, and have new stuff on the race car. Just, you know, some of the circumstances sometimes you get something that maybe is not quite right, or the material's not right, the heat treat, just something, you know, can ruin your whole day. And we should have had a, you know, it was going to be first or second over there. And, you know, every time we get out there with a channel lock car, it's right up front.
All right, Sammy, you'll be starting outside of the third row in tonight's dash. Thank you, Sammy.
Sammy talking
Andy
about
Hillenburg is off to a very, very good night as well. The STP car out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, qualified third tonight, and that's something you guys aren't used to doing, qualifying that high.
Well, thanks to our Klein engines, we've been qualifying pretty good here at these big tracks. So tonight, that was the key. The engine was really running well, and got to say thanks to Klein probably, because we were getting along there pretty good in the qualifying.
And now you're got through your heat, okay, so you're looking at the second row of the dash. You had a big smile on your face right before we came over here. You got a good motor tonight, don't you?
Yeah, we got a good engine. That's the key to Eldora here. As long as you can get your car pretty nice and not spin the tires, that's the key.
I think that smile says it all, guys.
Yeah, it really does. And, you know, Brad, Sammy was talking about quick change gears. These differentials are unlike you would find on a passenger car. There's just a plate that unscrews off the back with about 8 different bolts, and you can take the gears right out and change 1 tooth or 2 tooth to get more RPMs or less RPMs, depending on the racetrack.
Yeah, and it takes them 2 or 3 minutes to do that usually. They just pull the bolts off, slap a new set of gears in, no time at all, and they're ready to go. Now there's no clutch or anything in these cars or transmission, so it's a direct drive.
Okay, Earl and the crew are putting a little water on the racetrack. The fans are strolling around, enjoying the afternoon. And we're going to be back with the C main, and anything can happen there.
Welcome to Bug Heaven.
We have bigger bugs.
Prehistoric pterodactyl skeeters. We asked Avon Skin So Soft users to compare Skin So Soft repellent to Off-Skintastic for Kids.
Off-Skintastic is not greasy. No, bugs!
Off-Skintastic for Kids repels mosquitoes for over 2 hours. Skin So Soft repellent doesn't come close.
I used it and I didn't have not one bite.
We've switched.
No bugs, no bites!
It feels great on and keeps bugs off. From SC Johnson Wax.
Hi, I'm Ken Schrader, and I'm Mike Waller. We'd like to congratulate Pure Later on 75 years in business and your involvement in racing. You've been there for the sport, and you've been there for the customer. So happy anniversary, Pure Later, and congratulations on 75 years of being the leader.
There is a toothpaste so advanced, it even works when you're not brushing. Colgate Total protects you throughout the day and also at night. Colgate Total, the brushing so advanced, it works between brushings.
There's nothing like the feeling of a new car. We bought the Armor All Protectant. It shines, it protects, it's new car juice.
The Arm & Hammer Challenge. Now that you've worked up a sweat, put our antiperspirant under one arm and one without baking soda under the other. This odor sensor beeps when it detects odor, but Arm & Hammer absorbed and eliminated the odor.
Wow. Tomorrow I'll use it under both arms.
Milwaukee's best.
TNN, America's Country Home, is a service of CBS Cable. For quality television programs, the address is CBS. The Kings Royal, Saturday night on TNN Motorsports. July 25th on TNN Motorsports. It's IndyCar racing the way it should be.
Through the grass. Oh, look at this. For the lead on the outside, 3 wide. That was close. Whoa, dropping back straightaway.
Don't miss the high speed on the high banks as the Pep Boys Indy Racing League invades the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's the Visionaire 500, live July 25th at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on TNN Motorsports.
Now, you might think that the famous cowgirl and rodeo performer Annie Oakley was from Texas, or Oklahoma, or maybe Montana. She was from right up the road from Rossburg, Ohio. Annie Oakley was a Buckeye.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
No, absolutely not. And let me tell you what, over the years, over the years, a lot of Buckeyes have milked a lot of money out of Eldora Racetrack, which is where we are live on TNN Motorsports. And right now, they have put a lot of water on the racetrack, so they put some of the push trucks out there to try to massage this racetrack. Let's go down to Dave Reap with the winner of Heat 4.
And that winner is Joe Gaerte. If you talk to Joe Gaerte or Danny Lasoski, for instance, they might add that right now the racetrack conditions are really tough right now. We've got a quick racetrack, which makes it hard for you guys to pass and get up into the A main. But fortunately for you, you didn't time that well, so you're there.
Yeah, we had to start on a pole of the heat race. That's kind of the easy spot, you know. It'd be like starting on pole of the feature, but I wish it was the other way around. I'd start on the pole of the feature, but this place is kind of tough tonight, especially. It's really fast around the top. Now, maybe by the feature time, we might get something going through the middle, but he's got quite a bit of water on it, and it was overcast today, and that's the only place around right at the moment is on the top.
Tough old racetrack, Bobby Gerald.
Yes, it is, and it's been tough on Jeff Swindell tonight. Not actually the racetrack, but just this whole night in general, Jeff, has been one night that so far you'd like to forget. The 104 car being prepped right now for action in the C main because of problems in qualifying. What happened?
Welcome to my nightmare. That's kind of the way this year's been. You know, we've been busting our tails. We got a bunch of new crew guys in here now, and it's been a struggle. I can tell you that it's been a struggle. We changed the cam in one of the motors we had this week at the shop, me and Rob, and Cornette changed the cam and put some new heads on another motor. We had it in the car. We hot lapped both cars tonight to see what made a big difference. We had a small little oil leak on the one car that we had done, and then so we decided to go with the motor we just got back from Cornette. So we went out with it, and I don't know if the fuel pump took a dive or what. I mean, the thing melted 4 plugs on it. I don't think it really hurt the motor that bad after I got to looking at it after we got to changing it, but you know, hey, it's just kind of the way it's been. You know, it's been a struggle all along, and we didn't get but maybe a half a lap in qualifying, so it just kind of stuck us back to back.
Well, you just got 8 laps in the heat race and got a chance to fill out the racetrack for tonight's C main. You feel pretty confident about this C?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't feel too bad about that. I mean, we come from 10th there in the heat, and actually all but had Stevie Smith 3 or 4 times. You know, so we actually got up through there a little better than I thought. So 104 plus octane boost Ford. We're hoping to get her in the show, bud.
All right. As always, Jeff Swindell in good spirits. Steve.
And as always, when you interview Jeff Swindell, Bobby, you just become a human microphone stand. Jeff does all the talking.
When Jeff's talking about melting the spark plugs, it's actually burning the electrodes off the end of the plugs. They run alcohol in these things. You run a little bit lean, and it'll melt the plugs and sometimes the pistons.
Well, there's something interesting to do with your empty beverage cans. You spell out TNN with them. How about that? A lot of really creative stuff from the fans here at Rossburg, Ohio. We appreciate it. The drivers approve it. Okay, stay with us. We'll be back with that dreaded C main.
We all know that furniture polish smears glass. And glass cleaner leaves wood looking dry. So it can often be very frustrating cleaning combination furniture. Now there's a way to end that stress. New Pledge Wood and Glass, made from a balanced cleaning formula with natural citrus extracts. It brings out your wood's inner beauty and leaves your glass sparkling. Pledge Wood and Glass, a clean combination. S.C. Johnson Wax.
Maalox tablets. Eat and run. The story of my life. And so's heartburn. Good thing I've got Maalox tablets. They work like my liquid antacid. They relieve fast.
When you can't get your liquid antacid, there's only one tablet with the same fast-acting ingredients. Maalox chewable tablets, not Tums or Rolaids. So when you need fast relief, remember the speed of Maalox tablets.
Thanks, Maalox. Just in time.
For heartburn or acid indigestion, count on the fast relief of Maalox tablets.
In a land where justice has been outlawed, why does an outlaw fight for justice? It's only one man. It's not just one man. It's Zorro. And how does he make sure the only mark he leaves is the mark of Zorro? Head and Shoulders, when you want to leave your mark and nothing else.
I took care of those guys. Nestle Crunch. It's just more fun to munch.
My dentist told me about this new gum.
It's in the toothpaste aisle.
This gum cleans, whitens, freshens.
Toothpaste aisle.
Toothpaste aisle.
New Arm & Hammer Dental Care Gum with baking soda reduces unsightly plaque up to 25%. Dental Care Gum.
Toothpaste aisle.
It's another big weekend in motorsports, and to get you caught up on everything that's happening, tune in to Race Day. There's up-to-the-minute highlights, interviews, and more. That's coming your way Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern right here on TNN Motorsports. Well, welcome back, everybody. I'm Steve Evans, and coming your way as soon as the racetrack is ready will be the C-Main here at the Pennzoil World of Outlaws at famous Eldora Raceway. You know, there's a lot of phrases we hear in various parts of motorsports, and sometimes you really don't know where those came from or even what they mean. Earlier, Bobby Gerald decided to get to the bottom of one of them. Did he?
You know, a lot of people associated with sprint car racing use the term race and deal. Right after a crash, they'll say, well, that was just a racing deal. Well, we know this. A lot of the racing deals occur right here at the Eldora Speedway, usually somewhere up on the high side of turn number 2 or at the opposite end. But what's the definition to a racing deal? Well, we set out to find out.
You know, you're racing close out there, and emotions get high. Rub a little wheel, spin somebody out. Not intentionally, but it happens. It's hard to make that decision. I mean, there's a fine line there, but when your adrenaline's going, you're all excited. It doesn't seem like a racing deal at that time, but if it happens to you, and it's vice versa, if that's the other way.
Normally, any crash is a racing deal.
Oh yeah, they tell you that all the time. Yeah, just happened. Nobody's at fault. It's just a racing deal. Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah, hear that all the time.
It's just one of them things that happen. That's all I can say. It's just one of them things that happens.
The way I look at it, I've done things that I don't like done to me, but I've had them done to me, and I probably haven't done anything that anybody else wouldn't do. How's that?
Good. Accidents do happen. That's a racing deal.
Well, it depends on which end of the racing deal you're on. If it's your car involved with somebody else, the other guy always ran over your guy because it's just a racing deal. And usually it's a good excuse for your driver to not be blamed by his mechanic for running over somebody.
Well, I guess I would say that would have to be if some kind of incident on a racetrack and two people got together, I'd call that a racing deal. You know, you might not be able to avoid it.
When your drivers tell you that, do you believe them?
No, they wasn't paying attention. They ran over something. They didn't see it. That's a racing deal.
No, Carl Kenzer is the real racing deal. That's right. We are a totally neat network. Thank you, little girl. Big wave. Cute kids all over the place. It's a real family show, actually. Stay with us. We'll be back with the C-Main. I promise.
Hi, I'm Gary Chapman, and I've been writing songs for over 20 years. It's a great way to make a living. And now here's your chance to break into the business. Enter the second annual TNN Country Songwriting Contest, and you could be on your way. Just ask last year's winning team.
We had our song recorded.
We've had a just great time. Win the grand prize, and you are off to Nashville to record at Emerald Studios with acclaimed producer Robert Ellis Orrell. You'll appear with me on TNN's Primetime Country and win all this Yamaha equipment, along with $5,000. To get your entry form, call 615-782-3456 or write to this address. Or visit TNN's website at country.com. Or you can even stop by a participating Yamaha dealer. It's easy. Send cassettes only with a lyric sheet. And listen, this is big. You'll receive a written evaluation from an industry professional for every song you send. So enter now. Sponsored by Boost, Yamaha, and NSAI.
See the Pennzoil World of Outlaws proud their sprint cars are. It's the 15th annual Kings Royal Vibe from Eldora Speedway. Saturday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on TNN Motorsports.
Man, the first time I looked at a picture of me, I was like, wow, wait, what happened? I was fat. I lost over 50 pounds on a Slim Fast plan. I finally found something that worked for me. It's easy. It tastes great. Once I lost the weight, my energy skyrocketed right through the roof. It makes you feel good after working out.
23 vitamins and minerals, protein, calcium, fiber, all the balanced nutrition like a healthy meal.
I look at life totally different now.
Slim Fast, every day. Balanced nutrition for a healthy life.
Anybody can do it if I can do it.
Know what's going on at Opryland, USA? What's going on at Opryland, USA? A lot. Packages start at just $199 per person. Use your American Express card and receive a coupon book valued at over $200.
We're back live on TNN, and we welcome our Canadian fans, including the one who gets the Long Distance Award, the Newfie Network. That would be Newfoundland, Canada. And that's how they say it, Newfoundland, not Newfoundland. Hi, Grant. Lots of Canadians. Get a lot of letters from Canadians, a lot of emails from Canadians, and we have no Canadians racing tonight. And here is the lineup for the C-Main. It is Johnny Chesky of Dayton, Ohio. Johnny in row number 1, Chris Simon, 24C car. In row 2 is Keith Crabtree. He is scratched, actually. Number 1C, Charlie Baker, will be alone in row 2. Row 3 is 6C, Ken Burton. Well, he was going to be there, but he's car to watch the 104 plus car, the Ford of Jeff Swindell. Bill Wilburn in row number 4, the 0 car, Al Schmidt, 25S, hoping for a transfer to the B. Fred Boso in the 7B car, that's row 5, alongside Kent Wolders, number 12, Billy Gerald, 22J, Joe Conway, the 11C car, and Bob Adamson rounds out the C-Main, the 2A car. And only 2 cars, the top 2, will go to the B, where they'll tag the back. Jeff Swindell is a genius at coming out of the B, but coming out of the C, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dave Reed.
Tyler Walker's not having a very good night, 27th, and that in the chase for the rookie thing. That doesn't bode well, does it?
Well, we qualified bad. We had a late number to go out and qualify, but we had to start back in the heat race, and the car felt excellent in the heat race. Guys did a great job, Ricky and Scott and Bruce and Jack, and we got going pretty good. We made it into the A, so I'll just work from there.
But I'm sure there's more to it. It possibly could be this wonderful new blonde hair. Where'd that come from?
I don't know. We just kind of got bored one day back, and we all decided, well, let's go blonde this week. Maybe it'll change our luck, you know, but the night's not over, so it doesn't mean it hasn't changed our luck. And I got to thank Airsep, my dad, you know, for doing you know, they make me what I am, and they're doing a great job giving me the best stuff.
And my hairdresser. Here we go. It is the C-Main. Hold your breath. The 104 octane car makes a bold move down low. That is Jeff Swindell, the red wing, way low. Trying to find the shortest way around this racetrack, and it may also be the fastest. He's got to be first or second to go to the B.
That's Billy Wilburn out front. Tire changer for Rusty Wallace. We've talked about it before. Yep. There goes Jeff Swindell in the second.
That will put him into a transfer spot.
And then again, he goes to the tail of the B main, and boy, it's a long way up through there in the B main.
And you think, well, his car's running much better now than it did in the heat. No, not necessarily. These are just slower cars he's racing against.
Well, and again, if he transfers through the B, he gets his time back, but he was so slow. I mean, he was 40th quick. He's going to start in the back of the A main no matter where, you know, what he does out of the B if he can transfer.
That's right. You got it. Wilburn, the 0 car, the white machine, still leading with Jeff Swindell, tagging him, dogging him.
It's Charlie Baker. There's Jeff Swindell closing on Billy Wilburn. This is down in turns 3 and 4. See if Jeff dives to the inside of him. Yes, he will. Going into 1, puts the slide job on him, takes the line away. Billy turns it, just can't get back under him.
Now, Billy not intimidated at all. He was just in the wrong place. Whoa, now Jeff really stretches it out. Jeff Swindell.
That's part of that experience. You know, Jeff Swindell's cut 1,000,000 miles in this place, and Billy Wilburn hasn't been here very often. But again, the top 2, and Wilburn's got a nice lead over the 3rd place car. He just has to keep it out of the wall to get in that B main.
Look how gorgeous this racetrack is. Not a hole in it, not a rut anywhere, not even where the big rigs come across the racetrack. It's just incredible.
Right there, just went by where the rigs come in off the back straightaway. Sometimes the weight of those rigs will put a little bit of a dip in there.
I'll tell you, Jeff Swindell, by far the fastest car. His average speed for the laps run so far has been 120.63 miles an hour. That's average.
And the racetrack has slowed down considerably since qualifying. They always do. All dirt tracks do as the race goes on.
So Jeff Swindell, he's slowing down a little bit too, 119.5. We love our new electronic scoring system, and we thank you guys for it. So first or second is really all that matters here. You're not racing for a lot of money. You're racing for the right to race for a lot of money.
There you go.
This is the very last lap. Very last lap. Jeff Swindell, mission accomplished so far. Whoa, Jeffy sweeps inside the 22 car of Gerald.
There's Wilburn for second.
And Wilburn will get second. Okay. Stay with us. We're going to be back to talk to Jeff Swindell and talk to Jeff Swindell and talk some more to Jeff Swindell and a little bit more with Jeff Swindell right after this.
Millions of visitors every year agree when it comes to the Myrtle Beach area of South Carolina, variety's the key. From shore drive to Garden City. From fishing or camping to nightlife. The Myrtle Beach area of South Carolina, you can have it all. Call 1-800-217-2632 for your free Myrtle Beach area and South Carolina travel guide. Yeah!
So you're building that deck with Time Life to help you along. You might want to add some built-in benches, page 50. How about a brick patio, guaranteed weed-proof, and a lot easier on your checkbook than some contractor would be.
Now with Home Repair, you get 2 books for $2. Order decks, porches, and patios for just $1.99 and get kitchens free.
Those new countertops sure look good, and doing it yourself probably saved a bundle. So you could do that built-in recycling bin she wanted. Step by step, Time Life makes it easy.
With Home Repair, you get professional results at do-it-yourself prices. Use your credit card to order decks for just $1.99 and get kitchens free.
Home Repair makes you a real hero around the house. So why don't you give them a call? They'd probably love to hear from you.
Call 1-800-779-8484 to get 2 books for only $2. Use your credit card to order decks, porches, and patios, and you'll get kitchens free. Or send check or money order for $1.99 plus $3.95 shipping to the address on your screen.
You're so lucky. Not one gray hair.
When a woman can run her fingers through your hair and can't tell you blend away your gray, that's a natural-looking result. And that's just what you get with a hair color called Just for Men. Simply shampoo in, then rinse. In only 5 minutes, this unique formula blends away gray, actually matches your gray to your real color. So nobody knows, even close up.
I just love your hair.
Just for Men. It looks so natural, even she can't tell.
Hey, don't forget, next Friday night on TNN Motor Madness, the big boys bring out their big toys in Texas for a car-crushing good time. It's another Monster Truck Challenge on TNN Motor Madness next Friday night, 8 Eastern, right here on TNN. And you're back live with our gang here at Eldora, Ohio. We're going to go right down to Bobby Gerald, who's going to tell us about the 8-car dash to come. Right, Bob?
That's correct, Steve. And we're standing alongside a man who will start in the final row of that dash, and his name is Mark Kinzer. Mark has crawled back up to second place in the World of Outlaws point standings right now. Mark, is the championship something that's heavy on your mind, or are we just out for race wins at this point?
Well, we're just going racing right now, you know. We're going to try to get this working. Ray Williams Durr's car up as front as much as possible. Got a tough spot here in the dash on the last row. I'll try a couple things. Looking forward to the features. So if we could just pick up a couple cars, make up a row, we'll be really happy.
We talked a little bit about how some guys might try to save their best engines for the big money races. Is this the case where you have your best engine in here tonight in preparation for tomorrow night's Kings Royal?
Well, anytime you get a guy out there dominating like Steve and Sammy and Stevie, we run our best engines every night. We got to get back up on our game plan. We haven't been where we'd like to be here the last month or so, and we're throwing everything we got at them race after race.
Mark Kinzer's going to have the pedal down upcoming. Dave Reef?
Starting scratch in our dash tonight will be Craig Delansky. Craig, what do you do? Do you go out here and try a few things, start in 8th, knowing you're locked into the first 4 rows?
Yeah, we were a little tight in the heat race, and we loosened the car up a little bit here, and hopefully we can make it a little better and get this Midwest Underground Polydome car up front.
You have a career best or a year best 8th place finish. You're guaranteed to start there at least tonight, so this has been a pretty good night so far for you.
Yeah, I tell you what, our Kreiner motor's running real good tonight, and hopefully we can drive up into the top 5 anyhow and get a good finish tonight.
Wish you best of luck.
Thank you.
How you finish in the dash determines your front row position in the A feature. Okay, we're going to be right back. Not to Reading, Pennsylvania, but to Eldora, Ohio, only about 11 miles from the Indiana line.
There's a reason nature made it so simple to give them the calcium they need. The same reason we just made Nutrigrain bars an excellent source of calcium. Because we know it's important to you and your kids. New Kellogg's Nutrigrain bars. It's that simple.
If these walls could talk, they wouldn't tell you about the quality wood Fleetwood craftsmen use, but about 6-year-olds making s'mores for the first time. And they might not mention our brand name appliances, but they would tell you of surprise birthday parties. Because at Fleetwood, we know the quality that counts most in a home is the quality of life inside. Fleetwood Homes, quality for life. Call 1-800-350-2300 for a Fleetwood Homes retailer near you.
You heard about the High Endurance Deodorant Challenge from Old Spice? It's great at stopping odor. But what if you got to stop sweat? Well, now High Endurance makes a powerful new antiperspirant. A white solid that goes on clear. See? No white flakes. So you can stay dry without the white mesh you get from some other antiperspirants. Guaranteed. Or call 1-800-PROVE-IT and Old Spice will buy you a stick of yours. So take the challenge. Because this is more than just an antiperspirant. This is the high endurance of antiperspirants.
Want 50% more shine stuff? Get new Ultra Shine Protectant from Armor All. It's the ultimate shine.
When you're on the go, you don't have to stop enjoying great-tasting KFC chicken. And now get 3 Kernel strips, our big and tasty potato wedges, plus a medium drink, all for just $2.99.
Good thing there wasn't a line at the drive-thru.
On the go this summer, isn't it time for some really good chicken?
Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Jordan, and join me and my buddies Tightline and Sinker for the next exciting episode of Inside Outdoors. Here on TNN Outdoors, home of the experts.
And we got lots of good food, too, don't we, Bill?
We got a lot of good food, and, hey, can you give me some of those rattling tips?
Oh, sure, I'd love to. Grab your peanut there. Sit down, I'll tell you about them.
Sorry about this, man.
Now, there was a, let's see, the best way to rattle, of course, is to have some antlers to rattle with. And then you just sort of smack them together.
Somebody's eating all the peanuts.
Oh, sorry.
One guess. He's got red hair.
Hey, coming up Sunday on TNN Motorsports, check out the technical side of racing on NASCAR Garage. Now this week, you'll see a NASCAR engine inspection and take a look at the short but productive career of the AMC Matador. That's NASCAR Garage, Sunday at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on TNN Motorsports. And I know that Bobby Gerald, that's his favorite show, he'll be tuned in. Right, Bob? Bobby Gerald, take it.
No problem at all, Steve Evans. I'm just right now in human microphone stand position as I get set to talk with our C-Main winner. I told you what Evans said about you, but before we talk about Evans, let's talk about the C-Main. Great start you got from 6th to 2nd right at the green.
Well, I mean, the C-Main, that's normally the guys that haven't quite had the experience and the luck and the time in the seat, you know, so you got to kind of pick and choose your spot, you know. A lot of them haven't learned. You got to get up on the top to get the start going. Whoever that was leading the race did a real nice job there first half of it. I mean, he was rolling right along. I just sat in behind him, just kind of cruised around a little bit, but, you know, hey, he did a good job.
Billy Wilburn did do a nice job. Any retort for Evans?
That was Billy Wilburn?
That was Billy Wilburn.
That's unbelievable.
He was on the game. Now you're killing Billy Wilburn.
Nah, Billy's been working real hard for a long time. You know, he's been coming out here with us, and you know, he's struggling, and he fights it real hard. So, I mean, that was really good to see him do that then. That's all right. Steve Evans, I'll get back with you. I'll get you back.
Thanks, Jeff.
Hey, Bobby, not only do these drivers not see their tires, did you also know that Billy Wilburn changed his tires for Rusty Wallace? I bet you didn't. Hey, great job out there. Into your 3rd year, you get the weekend off. How's the transition coming into the sprint car?
It's coming pretty good. We get to run about 30 races a year, which is about 70 less than these other guys. But we're doing okay, I guess, for you know, the experience that we have and the amount of time we've had behind the wheel. You know, we don't get a lot of consistent weekends where we can run 2 or 3 weekends in a row, and so it hurts us, you know, to you know, not be able to race every weekend. But we're coming along. Things are working, and we're going to keep trying. And maybe we'll get up there with these guys in the dash one of these days.
Hey, you got a few more laps in the B-Main coming up, guys.
It's called a dash because it's only 5 laps, and take a look at the line. As you take a look at the grid, let me tell you that Mark Kinzer has won 8 dashes this year. Jac Haudenschild has won 7. Sammy Swindell has won 7. Andy Hillenburg has won 6. They spread this around pretty well. Steve Kinzer has won 3. Stevie Smith has won 3. Frankie Kerr and Craig Delansky, 0. 5 laps to determine how they line up in the feature. Ooh, Haudenschild.
Yeah, he was a little disappointed about his 8th qualifying spot, but that doesn't even matter right now. If he wins this dash, he's on the pole for tonight.
I tell you, that Penzo car is gone.
Now, remember what I said earlier, Frank, well, Andy Hillenburg moved into 2nd there. Sometimes, start of the race, if you finish 2nd in this race, you'll be on the outside of the front row.
Yeah, there's Sammy,
that's an advantage.
Sammy Swindell, the blue number 1 car, making a challenge on Steve Kinzer, the green 11 car. Sammy, who has fallen back to 4th in points, needs a good start, and Stevie Smith also coming down on the king.
What Stevie did there is running the cushion and tried to turn it and get down underneath of Steve coming out of 2. just got in that little bit of a black strip there and spun the tires, and Kinzer was able to pull away.
These are the last few laps that these hitters will have. Next to last is Mark Kinzer, the 5M Wertgen car. The yellow flag is out there on the final lap. There is Mark Kinzer. There is your leader, Jac Haudenschild. Wow, did he lead it. He is absolutely beaten up. He's breaking their backs. The 2-car of Hillenburg comes across the stripe. Stevie Smith, Sammy Swindell, Mark Kinzer. Mark Kinzer next to last, finishes in 7th. Only Craig Delansky was behind him. That will not have Carl clicking his heels.
Not at all. But Frank Kerr's got to be happy. Finished the 3rd. That'll put him in the 2nd row for the main event.
Heck yes. Haudenschild now is a serious threat in the feature to start up front like that. And we talk about all the success that man has had here at Eldora. He's won the King's Royal. He's won the historical big one. You Ohio drivers milked a lot of money out of this place over the years.
Well, that's the experience. Jack's been running here since 1978. Got a lot of laps. And you might have noticed there, Steve, going out back straightaway. You saw him looking up.
Yep.
The wings are hydraulically movable from front to back, and he was moving the wing back forward. It means he must have moved a little bit during the race. He's moving it back forward to do that for 2 things, so the other crews don't actually see where the wing was when they were racing.
Okay, some of the crews have taken off that hydraulic mechanism to save weight rather. Let's go down to Bob with Lasoski.
Danny Lasoski is getting ready for a race that he'd probably rather not be in, the B main, and I'm correct, right?
Absolutely, you hit it nail on the head. This is one race we don't want to be in, but I'll tell you, sometimes it may work out for the best. We can get our car a little nicer and make me drive a little better. Maybe that'll help us in the A.
How's this racetrack been for you in the past, Danny?
Well, I'll tell you what, the very first time I came here, I busted my tail pretty bad, and I still haven't got used to the place.
There are a lot of people that it's that way for them. They either love it or hate it.
Well, I can't say I hate it, but I'd rather be in Knoxville, Iowa right now.
Danny Lasoski getting ready for the B main, and Dave Reef is ready with Kenny Jacobs. Dave?
And Bobby, he will start inside the 2nd row of the B main, a place he doesn't want to be as well. I think the key is keep it off the wall. What do you think?
Yeah, it's not much fun hitting the wall here. We just got to get a good start and get back up there and hope I can keep it off the wall, but you got to run there and be fast.
That's the place to go here at the Eldora Speedway, guys.
But Danny Lasoski said he'd rather be at Eldora, or rather at Knoxville, Iowa. We're going to be there for the Amoco Knoxville Nationals in just a few weeks, live here on TNN Friday and Saturday nights. It should be fun.
We talked about in the opener the intimidation, and there you heard Danny Lasoski say it. His first time here, he crashed hard, and that's in the back of his mind. And he always struggles a little bit here, and it's hard to shake that. Boy, this wall's hard when you hit it at 140 mile an hour.
Okay, I don't want to hit anything at 140 miles an hour. Okay, stay with us. We're going to be back with the B main right after this on TNN.
Here at Physicians Mutual and Physicians Life,
we're now offering you a wider range of insurance
to suit your changing way of life.
From hospital plans to cover you immediately,
to all new outpatient protection.
From Medicare supplement policies
to home health care coverage.
From guaranteed life insurance
to innovative annuities.
We're working harder than ever
to develop the kind of protection you need today
and in the future. It's part of our ongoing commitment
to provide you with the quality,
the value, and above all, the service you deserve.
Physicians Mutual and Physicians Life.
We've been here when you needed us in the 20th century.
And we'll be here when you need us in the next.
For more information, call us toll-free.
Day or night. Or visit our website.
We'll be happy to help you in any way.
That's a promise.
Now, more than ever,
we're here when you need us.
Promotional consideration provided for and a fee paid by this special offer from Diamond D.
And they walked away 5. The most intense racing action on asphalt, dirt, and water. It's non-stop excitement to thrill the entire family. And they walked away 5 with you in the driver's seat for the high-speed thrills of NHRA, monster trucks, NASCAR, boats, and more. Call 1-800-507-1800 now, and you'll receive Top Fuel Sensations absolutely free. Experience the exciting sights, sounds, and smells of America's fastest sport. Over 2 hours of exciting racing action for only $19.95. Call 1-800-507-1800 now.
We're back at the Eldora Clash. Only 2 races remaining on the card. That's the B main and the A main. The B main 12 laps with 16 cars. Only 4 will transfer to the A where they get their time trial back, but in many cases that is not going to help. And then the 30-lap A main. And yes, here at the Pennzoil World of Outlaws, at many of these tracks, you can get up close in the pits and have a great evening. Let's go to Dave Reef.
I'm down with the Channel Log Dash winner, Jac Haudenschild. He gets the job done here again. The Pennzoil car looking good.
Yeah, it's been real fast, and, you know, hopefully we can keep it that way for the feature. The feature is going to be a little tougher. You know, everybody's kind of got their place where they're going to be, and, you know, so it's going to come down who's getting through traffic the best and, you know, whose car's working the best.
What do you think the racetrack's going to do by that time? Only got one more race before you go out there for 30 laps.
Yeah, the track's really nice right now. You can run anywhere on the racetrack, just about wide open. So it's got about 3 or 4 grooves right now. This racetrack couldn't be any better than it is right now.
Is there a funner place you guys run than right here? I know you love it.
No, there's no place like running Eldora.
You've had a lot of success here over the years. Another one here would just add to that total.
Yeah, we'd like to get a win here tonight.
What's it going to take?
Well, it's going to, you know, just getting through traffic real good and making all the right moves out there through traffic. You know, we got a couple guys that are, well, quite a few guys that are running real fast this year, so it's gonna be down who gets through the traffic and car's working the best.
Well, he's on his way so far. The Channel Lock Dash winner is also your pole winner for tonight's 3-lap A-main, guys.
Talk about a confidence builder, Brad Doty. He just beat the 7 guys that line up behind him handily. That's got traffic, of course, will be a huge factor when we get to the feature. That's always the factor.
Yeah, you heard him talk about that, and it's critical how good your race car is working to get through that traffic, too, to be able to move off. Right now, the fast line's around the top, but if you got to move off that to the middle or the bottom to pass lap traffic, a guy can whiz right by you on the top before you even know it.
And high praise from the Wild Child for Earl Baldus's big half-mile here. He said this track absolutely couldn't be any better. Earlier, Bobby Gerald had a chance to sit down with one of the really nice guys on the Pennzoil World of Outlaw Tour, and he had some interesting things to say. His name is Andy Hillenburg.
An opportunity to sit down with Andy Hillenburg from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, who currently sits in 5th place in the Pennzoil World of Outlaws point standings. And Andy, here we are at race number 49 at the Eldora Speedway. It's a long season, but how would you characterize the year for you so far?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, that's about halfway, so we got half of it done anyway. It's a long, hard season. We've won a couple races this year. We've been pretty fast at times, and we've fallen out a few races, so it's been circumstances. So I don't know. We'll just have to kind of hope the next half goes just a little bit better.
Andy, for many of the race fans who may not realize, is really an independent operator out here on the World of Outlaws Tour. You run your own race team with Klein engines, which nobody else on the tour uses. You also run the McCreary tires, which some of the guys go to every once in a while, but you run them on a regular basis. Is that by design, Andy, and how much of that independent feeling comes from you just being the way you are?
Well, I think a lot of it is me. I'm pretty hard-headed, or a lot hard-headed, you might say. I just, you know, the people that were with me when I was starting out and gave me a chance and believed in me, I've stayed with them. And pretty much that's the bottom line. You know, George Gillespie at Pro Shocks, he walked up and gave me some shocks one day, and I ain't forgot it, you know, and I still run Pro Shocks. So the same way with J&J chassis and McCreary tires, and we can go on down the line. You know, Glenn Sanders has been awful good to us. So it's just been that way.
And it's been an awful good combination because 428 is where the A-main streak now stands. 428 straight A-main events that this guy has qualified for. It dates back over several years. A testament to you being an Iron Man and also having a good crew and some reliable equipment.
Well, we've definitely got a good crew, and you know, I support the World of Outlaws. I discussed that with Ted Johnson when I first started racing this thing, and we've been here a lot of them. That record stands. So I like to do it, and I have fun doing it. Whenever the fun stops, and I'll probably stop.
Now, you have your family with you out here on the road. How much has your family been a part of continuing that great streak?
Well, it's definitely hard whenever they're not here, and occasionally that happens. You know, we have to go a week or so by myself, and it's pretty lonely.
Yeah, I can understand that. Life is tough out here on the road when you race as much as these guys do. Well, the streak right now at 429 if he makes tonight's A-main. And Andy, let's hope that you can get it up somewhere around maybe 750, 1,000, or just keep it going.
Yeah, I hope so. We haven't won a race here at Eldora, so we need to do that.
But he is the track record holder. Good luck to you tonight, Andy.
Thank you.
Yep.
Well, Bobby, you didn't jinx the man. He now has 429 A-feature starts, just an amazing record. In fact, Bobby, that was a nice piece, and what a nice guy.
He is a nice guy, and whew, I'm glad I didn't jinx him. Well, we talked about your streak earlier in the interview, and I had already kind of put you in the A main with 429 straight, so I'm glad you made it in there, and I wasn't the one to jinx you.
I'm glad you didn't tell me that. That way, it wouldn't have been no pressure on me. So we're running pretty good. We're starting up front. I'm having just a little bit of trouble keeping the car underneath me, getting in the corner. So we're not just going to be smooth sailing. We're going to have to wrestle with it a little bit, and 30 laps.
You did say that it feels, what, twitchy out there to you tonight?
Well, we're just a little snug getting in the corner, and once you get in the corner going that fast, the car's so tight, it's hard to keep the car underneath you and really be nice and pretty about it whenever you get ready to come off the corner, and usually that's where we shine here. So we're fighting a little bit of it tonight, but I think we'll get this J&J car rolling here in a minute.
And that's going to make traffic a lot of fun, right?
It's going to make traffic a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of traffic.
That's where they earn their money. Andy Hillenburg is, as Steve Evans said, one of the true nice guys of the sport here with the Pennzoil World of Outlaws series.
And he can take a very complicated situation and turn it into something anybody could understand at home. And he's just a great credit to the sport. Even the Ohio boys will occasionally root for Andy Hillenburg out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. All right, we are roughly halfway through this 3-hour Motor Madness. I'd like sausage and pepperoni, please. Get it up here as quickly as you can. We'll be right back.
Every so often, something comes along so good, it's almost evil. Something that can't be explained, but only embraced. The Outlaw Performance Fuel Additive. The Outlaw. The additive with attitude.
Four cars fueling out the door.
Feel the heat radiating out of your skin.
It's nasty hot.
We asked some of the hottest guys in the pits to switch antiperspirants.
Ultra dry degree, body heat activated.
Wow, I've never seen this before.
When your body heat rises, Degree Ultra Dry's powerful new form releases extra protection when you need it most.
This is one of the few products that can keep up with me.
It kept me dry, ultra dry.
Works better than my old stick.
New Degree Ultra Dry. Now more than ever, your body heat turns it on.
The proof is in the pit.
See the Pennzoil World of Outlaws crown their sprint cars high. It's the 15th annual Kings Royal Buy from Eldora Speedway. Saturday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on TNN Motorsports.
CMT travels the good old US of A, up the boulevards, down the highways, and across the byways every week, just to gather the most culturally significant and supremely watchable country music videos. Well, for that week at least. CMT has 12 large slots to fill, counting down all the way till we show you our big one. That's what we like to call our #1 video of the week. You'll see the wild, the weird, and the wonderful. Turn on to the CMT Top 12 Countdown this weekend. It's time for you to make your request for the CMT request line. Here's how.
Hi, I'm Mindy McCready. Call 1-900-288-4CMT now and tell us which video you want to see on the next CMT request line.
Make your request now and then turn on to the next CMT request line.
Here in Rossburg, Ohio, they're having a beauty pageant. Yes, no, they're auditioning for the Spice Girls to replace Ginger. I can't believe I know her name.
That's Kenny Jacobs' daughter there.
Is it really?
Kendra right
What a
there.
beauty. Let me tell you what. We have the B feature on deck, but if you just joined us here on live TNN Motorsports Motor Madness, let's go back and reflect on the 4 heat races that were run. There's pretty good action there. Heat number 1 had some problems right off the get-go for Keith Crabtree.
Right there, that's Tyler Walker flipping at Manzanito.
Yeah.
One of our previous shows. There he is. That's into turn 1. And luckily he didn't go down there and hit the inside wall because he has no steer. There's Joey Saldana. He went on to win.
Yep, Saldana went under. Crabtree went on to fix that car and run later on. In heat number 2, watch that white 47 car. And that right behind him, Steve Kim's with the green 11, the king of the Outlaws. He put on a heck of a fight, but Herrera, Hollywood Herrera, loves being on TNN Live. He won it. We are heat number 3, and again, problems in that same area up against the wall. And this looked like a stuck throttle for a second.
There's Dean Jacobs with no brakes. Went on to win the heat race.
Absolutely no brakes. Unfortunately, it didn't get in much traffic because that's where you really need the brakes. And finally, in heat number 4, Quattro.
Joe Gaerte.
Joe Gaerte, wire-to-wired it. Okay, we are just about ready. In fact, they are just now pushing off the B main. It'll take them a while to get these engines warmed up. They'll circle around a bit, and that'll give us time to take a quick break, pay some bills, come back and bring you more Pennzoil World of Outlaws action.
This NASCAR 50th anniversary moment is brought to you by Exide Batteries.
During the late 1960s, there were several racing rivalries beginning to take shape on the track, but none was considered more potent than the battle between the King and the Silver Fox, Richard Petty and David Pearson. In 1968, Petty and Pearson combined for an amazing 32 wins and 73 top 10 finishes. All of that in just 49 races.
Okay, guys, who's turning 50?
Do I look 50? Hey, I just turned 40. Not me. He's the older one. Older but faster. Yeah, right.
Well, who is turning 50?
NASCAR is. And Exide NASCAR Select is celebrating with the Big 50 celebration. Win NASCAR race tickets or the grand prize.
An MB&A mascot worth $50,000.
Thanks, I'll be right back.
Hey, we're finished.
The Big 50 celebration. Enter wherever Exide NASCAR Select is sold.
Oh, well.
The now legendary Petty-Pearson battle raged on through the early 70s and came to a head during the running of the 1976 Daytona 500. On the final lap, the two men swapped the lead 3 times, then made contact off turn 4, sending both of them spinning to the infield grass. Pearson somehow was able to limp to the checkered flag to claim the win. It was just another classic Petty-Pearson fight to the finish.
Today, people who didn't send the money Western Union and the heartbreak it caused. You say your dog called?
Yeah, said he needed tuition money for obedience school.
That's amazing.
No, he's always asking for money for something. Hey, Madonna.
What did you do?
I sent it.
But not Western Union.
No, they never treated me special.
So it never got there?
No, but that's not the worst part.
It's not?
No, now he turned the cat against me.
Hey, it's your money. Use Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
Motor Madness, brought to you by Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
Okay, we are back. You can hear the B feature warming up in the background live here on TNN Motorsports. Let's quickly go down to Dave Reed with the man responsible for this magical racing surface.
And if you can't figure it out from the trademark bill flipped up, you don't know who this is anyway. It's Earl Baltus, the man responsible for this entire weekend. Hey, what a great weekend you've got so far. A lot of people here.
Well, I'll tell real truth. In my wildest dreams, I never thought it'd get this big. Good heavens, all these nice people around here. And by the way, you guys do a wonderful job. No kidding. You're just great for racing.
We appreciate that. We wish you the best of luck. We're really looking forward to tomorrow night.
Okay, we watch you all. Every time we get the whole bunch is up here. We really think it's wonderful.
I'll start twisting him a little bit, see if we can't get some closed-circuit TV, get TNN up for everybody in the stands. Maybe next year, huh?
I'll tell you, some year I want to come here and have Earl open the old ballroom, the old Eldora ballroom, where you have the big bands in the 40s and 50s, and Earl played the saxophone, because I hear he was pretty stout. Here's the lineup for the B main, and on the pole is Sarah Fisher in the number 9 car, followed by Darren Pittman, 21, Kenny Jacobs, who he'll be a threat here, the 94 car, Danny Lasoski, the dude could be dangerous, should be dangerous. Brooke Tatnell, the 7K car, Kevin Huntley, number 7, remember this is the last chance, Bob Adamson, and Keith Kaufman. Only 4 cars can go to the B, and I'll tell you, there's about 8 of them capable of doing it here. The 2036S car of Steve Seaver, Dave Freed, there's Larry Neighbors, Eddie Neumeister, Danny Smith, Bobby Allen, old scruffy Jeff Swindell. Can you believe that?
Jeff Swindell and Bill Warburton, as you saw, won the C main. They're tagging the tail of this.
Yep.
It's a long way up through there.
Oh, man, and we've seen Jeff do so well in B mains. Last October in Las Vegas, came out of the B to win the A, but not up against these kind of odds. He had a good time trial, and he got back. So, top 4 as they swing into turn number 3, down towards turn 4, and they see the green.
They're not going to let this go.
I don't think it's going to stand. I don't either. The green was out. I still don't see a yellow.
Yep. Yellow lights are on. Looked like Sarah Fisher either didn't take off because she didn't like the start, or her motor stumbled, which you heard some of the guys talking earlier. And when they say the motor stumbles, it's just like you getting in your passenger car in the morning, you fire it up and you try to take off the engine cold and you stomp the throttle, it coughs and sputters, and these guys have to tune them to get that stumble out of them, and sometimes they miss it a little bit.
It's also dangerous. The car behind you doesn't stumble.
Yeah, and with the wings on, you can't see the flags a lot of times. So that's why they'll throw the green flag and let them go, and they'll come down the back straightaway and see the yellow light flash, and it gives everybody a chance to slow down and see the lights without running over the guy in front of them.
Okay, they're lined up again for just 12 laps of racing. 16 cars, only 4 will race. More tonight. Much better looking start. Sarah Fisher, the blue number 9 car, falls back to 3rd, 4th. She's 4th now. Oh, man. There is some slicing and dicing going on here in the B main. Lasoski, the dude.
There's Jacobs going into turn 1. That's Darren Pittman still filling in for Lance Blevins in the 21 up front car, but boy, they're struggling a little bit right now. Sarah Fisher looks like she's maybe going to put the same move on them.
Yep, Sarah Fisher hanging on to a transfer spot. She's still got a transfer. Oh, she goes way high. Up against the wall goes Sarah.
That cost her right there, the transfer spot.
Yep,
She got it back right there going down the back straight. That's Kevin Huntley in the 7 car.
And here comes Jeff Swindell, the 104X car. He is already 10th, but doesn't have many laps to pick up 6 more positions.
That's Danny Smith right in front of him.
It'll be tough to pass.
Yeah, what a guy, when you start in the back like this, what a guy needs is to run a few laps like this, and when they get strung out, I hate to jinx it, but he needs a yellow to bunch the field back up.
Here's the transfer battle between number 9 and number 7. That is Fisher.
See, again, that's the slide job. A guy will just drive in underneath, stay on the throttle, run the car real straight, and at the last minute, pitch it sideways, slide right up in front, and take the line. And there's not much you can do when someone does that to you.
No, and Sarah has been pushed back to number 5. She needs to
Brooke
come up.
Tatnall in the 7 car from Australia.
Yep.
Larry Neighbors in 29. Tatnall's leasing this program, spending all his own money, and it's cost him a lot to be over here to run the World of Outlaws.
So Sarah Fisher, who started on the pole in that beautiful blue car, has now slipped back. That's number 9 to the 5th spot. Let's see. Wow, he's got to be tough road. Tough road.
Yeah, for these guys really to back here to stand a chance, we'd have to have a yellow to bunch the field back up and slow it down to where maybe they can make some bold moves on a restart and make something happen. But when it's strung out like this.
Okay, at this point, Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide. The fastest cash lap award from Western Union goes to Danny Lasoski with a lap of 118 miles an hour. There's the fight for 3rd. That is Pittman and Huntley.
That average 118 mile per hour, Steve, they got to be pushing 125 or so at least down the straightaways.
Huntley, the 7 car, tried him low, tried him high, neither one worked.
And Brooke Tatnall, as you saw there on the screen, just broke coming out of 4. He's slow. Right there he is. Yeah, that's...
the white flag is out. Now the yellow is out.
Boy, that's... You sure don't want to see that when you're leading a race and they show you the white flag or you're coming for the white flag. And now, because of the World of Outlaw rules, which most sanctioned bodies do, you have to run green, white, and checkered on a restart. They don't throw the checkered under yellow flag.
Well, not in any kind of short or sprint car racing. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, it's hard to see right now what has happened to Brooke Tatnall there. He's looking down.
Beautifully turned out automobile. Wow. You know, I remember in the early days, 15 years ago or so, when we started doing the World of Outlaws, the cars weren't this pretty. They were on open trailers. They didn't have that kind of protection of the big trailers. And apparently, Johnny Herrera is having a problem. He's in the A main. Do we have a report on that? Let's go to Dave Reef. Yeah, Dave, what's going on with Danny?
Well, Johnny Herrera has got the hood off of the race car. He's taking a real hard look inside down near the fuel pump area. Apparently, this is a problem that developed earlier. What's going on exactly?
Well, we're not quite sure. The motor didn't get qualified good. The thing wouldn't take off in the heat race, so we changed the mag and we changed fuel pumps, changed a few things, just trying to figure out what it is and see if it makes the car better.
You pushed the car off, got it started. Well, I was standing here just a little bit ago. The car just stopped on its own, so obviously the problem is still there.
Well, no, I think that actually when they got the magneto put in the thing, they might have missed off just a little bit, so we're making sure it's right. And I had a little fuel leak inside. Fuel valve's leaking a little bit, so we're just changing that real quick and going to start her again.
Just trying to get everything buttoned up then.
Yeah, just trying to finish things up.
He's saying the fuel valve is leaking. Sometimes these systems will suck air if they've got a leak somewhere, and that can make the motor stumble and do things like that.
At the cone, they're going to give them 1 to go. And then we'll see.
Yeah, 1 to go before the green.
Green, white, checkered.
Yeah, they'll run green, white, checkered.
So Danny Lasoski out in front of the B main. He time trial fairly well, didn't he? Will he get a decent spot in the A?
Lasoski?
Yeah.
Well, but he'll have to line up behind the dash guys, though. The top 8 out of the dash. The best, I think he was 5th, I believe, in qualifying. So the best he can start will be 9th in the A main.
Assuming that he gets there, and he's got a couple of laps to make that happen. Danny Lasoski, many-time Knoxville track champion out of the state of Missouri. Lasoski, the 83 car.
Yeah, he's pulling away.
The dude is flying. 124 miles an hour on that lap. He may be more of a threat than we think.
Yep.
In that 30-lap A feature, 124 is the best speed I have noticed tonight. There may have been one faster I didn't see, but he deserved that Western Union award.
Yep, he just got the win. Kenny Jacobs 2nd, Kevin Huntley 3rd, and Darren Pittman will get 4th.
Yeah, Darren Pittman, number 21, will be the final transfer from what was a pretty interesting B main. A lot of stuff going on. But it was a disaster for Jeff Swindell, who winds up 8th in the 104 car. Just a disaster. And there is Jeff now, probably headed up here to punch me out. Jeff and I are real good friends. I would tell you that he, along with you, Brad Doty, have been the most cooperative of drivers in the Worlds of Outlaws as far as explaining stuff to us, giving access to their trailers and their tools, and letting us get in the way sometimes when we had to get the story, and we appreciate that more than any of you drivers could possibly understand.
I appreciate that, Steve, but you know, these guys got to remember that if it's not for these paying fans in the grandstands, they wouldn't be running for the money that you're running for, and that's, you know, the TV being here helps with the sponsorships and everything involved.
Okay, let's go down to Dave Reef, who is with Danny Lasoski.
Danny Lasoski crawling out of the Beef Packers car, turning some pretty good laps in there, Steve Evans. As Danny turns around and puts on his hat. The timing and scoring system had one of your laps there right before the very end. You were cooking at 124 out there. Car must have been working pretty darn good.
Well, I wish the driver was working that good in the heat race. I'll tell you, my guys did a great job. Jimmy Carr, Mark Ellis, Brian Brown. They're doing a great job, and I'll tell you what, Bob Westphal builds a good engine. That thing on out in the open runs pretty good.
You're going to get your time back, so you should be able to be up there in about the 5th row unofficially, so that's a little bit of a break.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's sure been nice being on the front row of the dash. But, hey, we'll take it. If we can win from the 5th row, then it's well worth it.
At 124 miles an hour, this guy could come to the front, though. We'll have to watch him in the A main, Bobby.
Yes, we will. Another guy we'll be keeping our eye on is Dale Blaney, the driver of the Amoco number 93, who right now sits in 9th place in the Pennzoil World of Outlaws point standings, 40 points up on Tyler Walker in the battle for the Rookie of the Year. Dale, how's your night been so far tonight?
I don't know, not as good as we liked, I think. You know, we timed 13th and didn't run real great in the heat race, so we've tried a couple things, and I think the car feels pretty good. We just, the tracks got slicked up here a little bit, and hopefully we find the right setup to go forward.
We saw you intently watching the B main event, which was just run. Did you learn anything, and what lines did you like by some of the guys were using out there?
Well, usually the fast line here is up on top, but you know, Danny and Kenny were the two fast guys, and they were quite a bit faster than everybody else, and they were using that line. So I think that's going to be usually the line that's going to win the race here, and it looks like it is tonight.
All right, you have lots of laps here with the other group, but tonight's with the Pennzoil World of Outlaws. So have fun in this A main.
Thank you very much.
Dale Blaney giving him heck in the 93.
Well-spoken young man. You know, we're going to take a quick break, and we talked about the Kings Royal tomorrow night from 9 to 11. Let me tell you, something else is going to happen so special tomorrow. I've been sworn to secrecy. So special, you will want to tape this show if you're an avid sprint car fan. We'll be right back.
Everyone enjoys listening to birds sing, and now you can bring those happy sounds indoors. We're proud to present the official National Audubon Society's Singing Bird Clock. Each hour is represented by a different bird, which shares its unique song to chime the hour. At 12 o'clock, you'll hear the haunting call of an owl. And each hour throughout the day, a different bird will sing its song. The familiar robin, the melodious wren, the beautiful song sparrow. It's like having your very own Audubon bird sanctuary. Each bird song has been authenticated by the National Audubon Society, the world's leading authority on birds. It's the perfect way to learn different bird calls.
Mommy, that's an oriole. It sure is, honey. Since we got the singing bird clock, Ashley has a much greater awareness of the world around her.
The bird calls are so authentic you can almost see the Canada geese migrating south. or the proud strut of the Cardinal. If you like the great outdoors, you'll love the Audubon Singing Bird Clock. It'll fit in perfectly in your family room, make a stunning addition to your kitchen, or blend in with nature's own sounds on your patio. Its accurate quartz movement makes this a timepiece you can rely on, and its built-in light sensor keeps your clock from chiming at night. The official National Audubon Society's Singing Bird Clock is only $19.99 and comes complete with a certificate of authenticity from the Audubon Society. Order now and we'll include this full-color book describing each of the birds on your clock. But wait, you even get these full-function binoculars absolutely free. They feature high-powered variable focus optics, and they're adjustable for a custom fit. Order your Audubon Singing Bird Clock now.
To order the Singing Bird Clock for $19.99 plus shipping, call 1-800-411-7766. This exclusive offer is not available in stores, so call now, 1-800-411-7766. Sorry, no CODs.
Next Friday night on TNN Motor Madness, they rock and they roll. They're the biggest, the meanest machines in motorsports. They're monster trucks, and they will be taking Texas by storm. Plus, more hard-charging, high-flying pro-arena truck action. Join Dusty and the gang for another Monster Truck Challenge next Friday night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on TNN Motor Madness, the show where anything can happen.
Well, this is where the term making hay came from. Because if you're a kid in Ohio during the summertime, you're probably going to help out on the family farm. You can have a little fun. There's probably a swimming hole on the back 40. That young lady right there, she can throw that hay. How about that, huh? I bet you can play a little soccer, too. Just good, clean exercise. You know, I've been remiss in not telling you fans at home why Ralph Shaheen is not part of our broadcast tonight. If he was, he'd be buying every one of those shirts. Ralph is in Dover, Delaware, preparing for the CBS Live Sunday Indy Racing League program, our sister network, our great big sister network, CBS. So that's where Ralph is, and he'll be back in time for the Amico Nationals in Knoxville. We miss you, Ralph. I know you're watching, and I know you wish you could be here tomorrow night for a very special happening. You know, a member of our broadcast team, though, Dave Reap, had a chance to sit down with maybe the most colorful young kid to join the Outlaw Tour in many years.
Standing on the gas, Tyler Walker's probably the most aggressive driver out here on the World of Outlaw Tour right now, and people are eating this guy up. From Manzanita to Mechanicsburg, he's been putting fans in the stands, and they're all standing to see whatever he's going to do on any given night. Pretty impressive considering two things. You're just a rookie out here, and secondly, you're only 19. By the way, happy birthday, July 16th.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm pretty amazed myself. You know, I started racing go-karts when I was 11, and that was only about 8 years ago, and 2 years ago a sprint car, and I'm ended up with the best of the best, and I'm doing my best. Sometimes I think I'm a little too aggressive, and I need to be a little more patient, because sometimes I'll run up behind someone, and instead of just timing it and being a little patient and sliding them clean, you know, I'll run up like a bat out of heck, you know, and I just slide right by, lose a bunch of momentum, and some Sammy or Steve or some experienced guy will go driving by me, and then I'm, you know, I just gotta, sometimes I gotta slow down a little bit.
Aggressive might be an understatement. Can you pinpoint where that style comes from?
I honestly don't know where it comes from, but I just know I've been an aggressive person my whole life, wrestling with my friends and boxing and everything I did, played football, whatever it was. Basketball, man, I got cuts and bruises, and because the way everything I do, everything is pretty aggressive.
You've got a pretty good resume already. 7 All-Star wins last year with the Rookie of the Nationals, as well as the Rookie of the Little 500 back in '96. Youngest guy since Jeff Gordon to make the Amico Knoxville Nationals last year. What is the definitive highlight?
Probably Sheridan Nationals last year. We started 21st. We ended up winning that. That was a 10,000 to win show, and they have some of the shirts, you know, of the past winners, and you see guys like Mark Kinzer and Doug Wolfgang and Danny Lasoski and stuff, you know, and to have my name on that shirt now, it means a lot to me.
Now, to see Tyler Walker in the pits before a race, he's always got a constant companion. It's a big, beautiful Rottweiler dog. Here he is.
What are you doing,
Rex? Rex a lot? What kind of a name is that for a dog?
Yeah, he picked that up when he was young. He used to wreck everything, so we just named him Rex.
They're not comparing that to you, are they?
No, I never wrecked anything.
Amazing. How old is this dog? And you take him everywhere, don't you?
Yeah, he's about my best friend. He's the only thing that's... Now I got my girlfriend with me, but he's the only thing that he's with me full time, you know, and I get sad, I cuddle up with him, or I'm happy, I enjoy it with him, whatever it is, he's my best friend.
You grew up in Santa Clarita, California. Is that where you found him? And what did you do besides football and those kinds of things in high school?
Basketball, baseball. I love snowboarding, riding motorcycles and quads, and surfing. Anything that requires athletic ability, I like to do it.
Aggressive, aggressive, aggressive. Still looking for that first World of Outlaw win, though. What would it mean to get it here this weekend?
Oh, man, that'd mean I'd probably wipe out all my other highlights, and I'd have a new one, because I've yet to win with the World of Outlaws, and I mean, I'm more anxious than I could ever remember to try and beat these guys. And I think once you get that first one, it makes it a little easier for the second, third, fourth, fifth, so on. I know I got a lot of time to beat these guys, so I'm just going to keep doing my best, and my guys are doing a great job in air-sep. You know, I owe everything I got to my dad. He's my best friend, and he's helped me along all through life.
Well, Brad Doty, is that a little like looking at yourself?
Oh, boy.
At about 19 or 20?
I wasn't much older than him when I started with the World of Outlaws, and I tore up a lot of equipment. Had a guy tell me one time, don't worry about it, kid. All the good drivers tear up equipment. Steve Kinzer tore up a lot his first few years with Carl, so that's how you learn your limits, is to get in the wall once in a while.
If I saw him walking down the street in California, where I happen to live, I'd say, that's a snowboarder, just by his body language and his white hair.
Well, you heard...
And they live on the edge. And like Bobby Gerald lives on the edge a lot. Right, Bobby?
That's right, Steve. You know me, the crazy, outgoing, got the no white hair here. Come on, Evans. All right, real quick, what I want to do is we want to give a big shout-out and a hello to Dion Hindy, who was racing with us last week at Fargo. Dion got in a crash the following night on Saturday night, injured himself a little bit, but he's recovering right now, hopes to be back out on the road very soon. And Dion, we miss you out here. Get back to racing here very quickly. Now let's talk with Stevie Smith, another guy who lives on the edge. And Stevie, you're not going to be coloring your hair white anytime soon like Tyler Walker's, are you? Already got the blonde thing going, right?
Yeah, mine's almost white, so I'm going to keep it the same color.
Sounds good. And what you've been doing has been working just fine so far this season. You've picked up 10 feature event wins this year overall with the World of Outlaws. And as you step back now at the mid-season point and start to look back on this season, you've got to be awfully impressed with what you guys have accomplished.
Oh, I am. I'm proud of the crew. Most of the credit goes to the crew and Ingersoll Rand. They've given me a good car all year, and, well, they're twisted on it tonight. Hopefully it's a little better than it was in the dash.
You weren't real happy with your car in the dash, I take it.
No, well, we've tried a couple things for tomorrow, and they're not working out, so we're going to go back to the basics.
All right, well, maybe back to basics. We'll be back up front.
Thanks.
Stevie Smith getting ready to go with our feature event debrief.
Bobby, we also want to give a shout-out to Lance Blevins, who's sitting at home in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, watching tonight's coverage, getting ready to recuperate, get back in the up front car number 21. In the meantime, his driver, Darren Pittman's doing pretty good tonight. 12th qualified car. He got the last transfer spot in the dash. That's no big deal. You're all the way starting 12th. What a night.
Right, we first time here, and up front car's been good. We qualified decent. We kind of been struggling since the races have begun, but we learned a couple things. We got to run the track a little longer than anybody else, so maybe we can figure some stuff out and get up front for the feature.
What's the timetable for Lance's return in this thing, as you know it right now?
Right now, nothing's for sure. I believe he might possibly be back next Wednesday for Knoxville. That would be the earliest he'd be back. Other than that, nothing's been said for sure until he gets well. I'll just be driving for him, but I believe he'll be back next Wednesday.
Best finish for him so far is 15th. He's already starting better than his best finish tonight.
Yeah, and Dave, Stevie Smith is running a new Westmar engine. They've been building their own. They blew some up in Pennsylvania, put them behind. And the engine in this car was actually built for Lance Blevins. Joe Ray Blevins, Lance's dad, is Stevie's father-in-law. So that's how this engine connection came together, and they picked this engine up and plugged it in for tonight. And so far, it looks like they're liking what they feel.
And it's interesting tonight, not one mention has been made of tires. And that's usually a huge subject. It was at Fargo, every other race we've done. That's how good this racetrack is. There's just, I think everybody knows exactly what they're going to do tire-wise. Okay, stay with us. We know exactly what we're going to do when we come back, and that's tell you more about the A-Main, the feature still to come live.
Here at Physicians Mutual and Physicians Life,
we're now offering you a wider range of insurance
to suit your changing way of life.
From hospital plans that cover you immediately
to all new outpatient protection.
From Medicare supplement policies
to home health care coverage.
From guaranteed life insurance
to innovative annuities.
We're working harder than ever
to develop the kind of protection you need today
and in the future.
It's part of our ongoing commitment
to provide you with the quality,
the value,
and above all, the service you deserve.
Physicians Mutual and Physicians Life.
We've been here when you needed us in the 20th century.
And we'll be here when you need us in the next.
For more information, call us toll-free.
Day or night. Or visit our website.
We'll be happy to help you in any way.
That's a promise.
now more than ever.
We're here when you need us.
Welcome back, everyone. We're live here on TNN Motorsports, and you're looking at Brad Doty. This was last night, Brad, and you were at Attica, Ohio.
Attica Raceway Park, and I won the Media Member of the Year Award and the Outstanding Contribution to the Sport Award.
And also had your brand new, completely restored race car there. We just saw that Coors Light car.
Yeah, Larry Wood did a fantastic job on this race car. I mean, it's so close to the way it was. It's really incredible.
2 awards in one night.
Yeah, that's my daughters, Brittany and Brandy, there in the back.
Well, you deserve both of those and a whole lot more. And let me tell you, the fans up there at Attica, boy, I mean, that was the biggest crowd they'd ever had, I think.
Oh, yeah, and always tremendous racing up there, and it was a beautiful night all the way around.
How many autographs did you sign?
Quite a few, quite a few. It was like a 2.5-hour deal, and enjoyed it, and just got to talk to all the fans and have a good time.
Okay, let's have a look at this week's Miller Lite news and notes. And here is the Friday action from the CART Toronto Molson Indy qualifying. Alex Zanardi looking to make it 4 in a row, the Donut King. 105, Gil de Ferran looking good at 105 miles an hour. Michael Andretti in the 3rd spot. Dario Franchitti, which is an interesting name for a Scotsman. Tony Kanaan holding on the 5th spot, and you can kind of read the rest of them on through the top 10. But all in all, that'll be a terrific race up there. And here, Brad Doty, you know about sprint car money. Is this pretty good?
Boy, we're halfway through the season. $166,000. Stevie Smith, I mean, there it is. 5th place, still $130,000. Boy, these guys are, I mean, the money in the world of outlaws nowadays is incredible.
And you don't have to be in the points lead to be in the money lead. Depends on the races that you win.
Right, and how many times you fall out again where the points fall. But, boy, that's a lot of money there.
Let's get down to Bobby Gerald in the pits again. Bob?
Standing by with Greg Hodnett right now, and Greg's coming off a 5th place finish on Monday night with the Pennzoil World of Outlaws Series. And Greg, the guys in the booth were just talking about all night tonight. We haven't mentioned tires like we were talking about so much at Fargo. Why is that?
Well, right now the guys, the track has done a really good job of keeping moisture in the racetrack, and right now the times are turning about 13.7s in the race, which is, for here, normally about this time of night, it'd be about 14.5s, and the racetrack's just super fast. The guys did a super good job of preparing it, and hey, I don't know, but it saves my car owner a lot of money. This Vibrant team could sure save a little bit tonight.
If there's any criticism to a fast racetrack, it's that passing becomes a little bit difficult.
Yeah, it really does. It becomes like one lane is the perfect line, and everybody goes to it. And, of course, at Eldora, the perfect line's around the top, and it's wet, so it might be really difficult to pass. But, you know, everybody's going to be fast, but everybody's going to race clean and race hard, so it might be a little bit more exciting in lap traffic.
You happy with your starting position?
No, not at all. That's the understatement of the world. But no, I think we start 21st or 23rd or something. I don't know. It's pretty far back, so we're looking to go forward in this one.
Just wanted to see what kind of response I'd get out of it. Good luck, Greg.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
We're having fun in the pits.
I can tell you are, and a very good race analysis, pre-race analysis from Greg. Do you agree with what he said?
Yeah, absolutely. And a little concerned about how fast it is, but the lap traffic, we've got some differences in the speed here. So they're going to be in heavy lap traffic, and that is going to make this race. The guy that you heard Jac Haudenschild talk about it earlier, if the car's working, there's going to be some slide jobs going up and banging that wall, especially out of turn 2, and it's going to make for an exciting race.
And as I said earlier, the fact that no one has even talked about tires. You say that you're going to run the Goodyear's 906E or the not one word.
Yeah, that's not hurting tires at all. Like I said, the moisture, and especially running around the top like this, you know, where the moisture is at, the only thing that's going to hurt the tires is when they bang the wall and tear the sidewall out of it, maybe. So that's all they have to worry about.
Okay, well, we've done enough talking. When we come back, hopefully we're going to have the A feature on this big bank half mile in Eldora. Stay with us live on TNN Motorsports. We won't let you down. Heard that last year.
By the seashore. Now the sounds of the surf are accompanied by the sounds of over 100 shows and attractions. Call for your free Myrtle Beach Entertainment Holiday Planner and South Carolina Travel Guide and see shows by the seashore.
The year was 1923. The automobile was changing America, and Purolator invents the oil filter, coining the phrase pure oil now, pure oil later. Purolator. And the rest is history. After all, we invented the business.
There's nothing like the feeling of a new car.
We bought 3. Armor All Protectant. It shines, it protects. It's new car juice.
TNN, America's Country Home, is a service of CBS Cable for quality television programs. The address is CBS. The Kings Royal, Saturday night on TNN Motorsports.
Hey! No, down here. Instead of running out for stamps, shouldn't you be running your business? Imagine a simpler way. Get the personal post office from Pitney Bowes. Send mail without ever going out for stamps. Just weigh, punch in the postage, and voila. Professionally metered mail and no wasted postage. You can also add a personal message to get your mail noticed. And postage refills by phone in 30 seconds, day or night. Now listen up, because here's what you'll get. Besides a lot more time.
You'll get the personal post office and money-saving electronic scale.
So there's no wasted postage.
For a 90-day free trial.
Free is good.
You'll also get the Mail Marketer software.
Create really nifty direct mail to help your business grow.
Call now for your 90-day free trial, and you'll also get our Mail Marketer software absolutely free.
Now watch your business grow. Hey, I look good in red.
Be ready for the postage rate change. Call now for your 90-day free trial.
The personal post office. Mailing made simple.
Well, the race about 30,000 fans came to see here in person as you watch it live on TNN Motorsports is on deck. Let's first go down to the pits with Dave Reef.
Well, after 8 dash laps where Mark Kinzer got to go around and play, it's time to get serious now. We're getting ready for that 30-lap A main event. What'd you learn in the dash? Anything you can take?
Well, we played with the different grooves on the track. Preferred lines, of course, up against the wall here, and we tried to work with something down a little bit off that. It didn't really work that good, so we threw something else at the car, and we'll just have to wait and see if it works. We haven't had time to test it, but starting 8th here at Eldora is pretty far way back, so we're just throwing the old coin in here and see what we come up with.
I'd say you got the game face on tonight. You're focused.
Yeah, we are. You know, we've really struggled here about the last month, and crew's tried real hard, and maybe I've been trying too hard, so we need to come up with a victory here in the near future.
Good luck.
Well, I can't imagine it'll be too far away with that driver and his father, Carl Kinzer, the winningest crew chief of all time. These guys are not telling a lot of speed secrets on TV because there's too many of those little mini dishes, as we talked about last week in Fargo, in those big trailers out in the pits. Bobby is standing by with the king, and it ain't Elvis.
That's right, it's Steve Kinzer. He just said, it ain't Elvis, but it is a king. Steve Kinzer, and this guy's always focused before the races. I saw you just walk out onto the racetrack, take a good look at it, come over and speak with Guy. How's all that working out so far tonight?
I was just trying to figure out what kind of left rear we want to run, and watching the track, I put a little water on it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll just go out there and run and try to win this thing.
That's the way it goes. Now, the track could be a little bit hard to pass on because it's so fast. Would you anticipate traffic giving everybody the most fits tonight?
Well, we're definitely going to be in traffic, and with the water on it, everybody's going to be socked down pretty good for probably 7 laps anyways, and then you'll see what happens after that.
Good luck to you, Steve.
What Steve was talking about there when he said left rear, it's that tire right there. The left rear at this racetrack is probably as critical as the right rear is, where most racetracks you worry more about the right rear.
Right.
But with the cushion the way it is and the moisture up there, you don't have to worry about the right rear. The left rear is the one that's running in the black or the slicker part of the racetrack. So getting the right compound on the left rear tire is going to be the key to winning this thing.
Well, I tell you what, the man to beat is with Dave Reef.
And that is the driver of the Pennzoil car, Jac Haudenschild, who will start tonight's A-main event on the pole. Jack, you killed him in the dash. Can you kill him again here at 30 laps?
Yeah, the car felt pretty good in the dash, so I believe we're going to be pretty quick in the feature. We'll just have to get through cars good, and I think we should be right there.
What did you and new crew chief Dean Bruntz talk about changing for this car?
Yeah, we just changed a couple of small things and put on some new rubber, and we didn't change too much from the dash, so we should be fine.
He'll go out there and try to do it in 30 laps. If he gets it done, it'll be his 3rd preliminary feature win this year.
Why would you change anything after that dash? That was a yellow rocket ship.
Well, on a dirt track, that where asphalt usually doesn't change, the dirt track will change on it, and they do have to keep up with it. But like you said earlier, they're not saying a whole lot either. He said they're not changing much, and he's not going to say what they did change.
Well, I think probably just rubber tire pressure. Bobby has the reigning Pennzoil World of Outlaws champion. How's he looking for the A, Bob?
He's looking very good because in 2 World of Outlaws A-mains here this season, he's won them both. So Sammy Swindell, despite wherever you're starting here in this feature event, a lot of people would say that you're the man to beat. Do you think that's fair?
Well, I don't know. You can get out front here and get to running by yourself, and you can get away, kind of like Haudenschild did in the dash. And
and track position means a lot here. You know, if you can run your own line, you can build up a lot of momentum here, and you can get away from two guys that are, you know, racing together. You know, if you can run the fast line around here, you can go a lot quicker than, you know, two guys running side by side or guys, you know, trying to race each other. So we've got a work cut out for us here in the channel lock team.
We asked this question earlier of another driver. How much at Eldora do you get to think, or is it all reactionary?
No, you've got time. You're going fast, but you know, it's a pretty smooth transition. So it's you know, you gotta watch where you're going because you're going to be there pretty quick. But it's not tough. You know, I've been to some other places where the, you know, turns are maybe banked a little more. You know, but the straightaways are flat. This thing is pretty smooth most of the way around. So it's pretty easy to run around. You just have to get the car to just where it does all the work, and you know, you can't be fighting it or you'll slow down.
Good luck to you, Sammy.
Thanks.
Sammy Swindell, ready to race.
Ready to race and ready to get a good start. That is going to be critical if you're starting back as far as Sammy is, which is in like the 6th position in the 3rd row. We might see a couple of false starts at the start of this A-main. Dave Reef, what do you think?
That is entirely possible because the start on a big fast racetrack like this is very imperative. 2 weeks ago at the Iowa Ethanol Classic, Daniel Lasoski used patience to almost steal the World of Outlaw win. 30 laps here at Eldora, though, I'm sure it's going to be a little bit different.
Totally opposite, buddy. When you hit the green flag, you stand on the gas, and 30 laps you lift. That's what it's going to take to win here.
Do you learn anything from the B? Can you take anything into that, or is the quality of cars that much better that it's really going to be tough?
Well, the quality of cars is really good in the A, but our car's a lot better, too. So I think we got a good shot of getting up there. I don't know if we can win anything, but we're sure going to give 110%.
Always. Elbows up, too, for the dude. He'll start inside row 5.
He's got to feel a little better, too, after that B main. You know, maybe he's got his confidence back up a little bit.
Here's some interesting news. Jeff Swindell, the 104 team, have gone to a backup car, which means they're going to use one of those rare provisionals. Is that right, Bobby Joe?
Steve Evans, that is absolutely correct. Jeff Swindell switching cars and using a provisional. You're pulling out all the stops here on us tonight, Jeff.
We're getting a lot of laps in anyway. I guess that's about all you can say about it. No, actually, we made changes on the 2 motors coming into tonight. So this is the other one that we made the changes to. So we really haven't got to run it, but like 2 laps and hot laps. So we decided since we're taking a provisional, we might as well pull this sucker out and see if it runs a little better. The one we had to put back in that one's got a lot of races on it, and it's actually the first motor we built this year. So it's not quite doing what we've gotten up to lately. But you know, hey, we're working on it. We'll see what this thing will do.
Jeff Swindell just wants to race some more. That's what's really going on here.
Now, Brad, taking a provisional, where does he start?
He'll start last.
That's what I thought.
Yep, it's clear at the very back. So, again, a long way to go.
Yeah, but there's $50,000 on the line tomorrow live on TNN Motorsports. That's why Jeff Swindell wants some more laps to get ready for that. Stay with us. As you can see, they're ready to fly in the A-main here at Eldora.
Dear True Value, after 3 attempts to install a faucet I bought there, your salesman did something kind of amazing. He offered to come and help do the job himself. And the price for his services? A ride to my home. Made me feel great. And I think the True Value guy felt pretty good about it, too. Until the ride back to the hardware store.
Will you come back for dinner?
When people ask me where they can get a good value on their horse supplies, well, I tell them the new equine department at Tractor Supply. Tractor Supply has the tack, the feed, and the veterinary supplies that we need to take good care of our horses. They also have our new John Lyons signature products in the videotapes. So if you want a good value and you want to take excellent care of your horse, go see Tractor Supply. They'll help you out.
If these walls could talk, they wouldn't tell you about the quality wood Fleetwood craftsmen use, but about 6-year-olds making s'mores for the first time. And they might not mention our brand name appliances, but they would tell you of surprise birthday parties. Because at Fleetwood, we know the quality that counts most in a home is the quality of life inside. Fleetwood Homes, quality for life. Call 1-800-350-2300 for a Fleetwood Homes retailer near you.
You heard about the High Endurance Deodorant Challenge from Old Spice? It's great at stopping odor. But what if you got to stop sweat? Well, now High Endurance makes a powerful new anti-perspirant. A white solid that goes on clear. See? No white flakes. So you can stay dry without the white mess you get from some other antiperspirants. Guaranteed. Or call 1-800-PROVE-IT and Old Spice will buy you a stick of yours. So take the challenge. Because this is more than just an antiperspirant. This is the high endurance of antiperspirants.
And then there was one. Coming up next weekend on TNN Motorsports, it's high speed on the high banks as the Pep Boys Indy Racing League duel at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. If it's anything like the Texas race, expect a lot of great action. And don't miss it, the Visionaire 500 Saturday night, July 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on TNN Motorsports. Let's go down to Dave Reef with Steve Smith, not Stevie.
We're talking a little bit about tires down here and what the racetrack will do. As Bobby mentioned earlier, we haven't talked a whole lot about tires tonight. Is that going to come into play at all, do you think?
Well, they watered the track, and track's staying a little wetter than normal tonight. So a soft tire's probably going to be pretty good for about halfway, but I don't know if it's going to hold up for the full 30 laps. So we went just a shade harder, which they call a 25C.
So the big question mark then is when you get all 24 or 25 now of these cars out there, maybe blowing this thing off.
Oh, yeah, it makes a lot of difference. Like I said, you got about 10 laps there. It's going to make it track look back to about where it left off, I think.
What about a setup for you guys? You got one that can come to the front, you think?
Well, I hope so. We changed some stuff around. We wasn't real good there in the dash, but hopefully we picked up a little bit, and I'm sure he'll drive the heck out of it if we got the car right.
They'll start inside the third row. Good luck tonight.
Well, apparently Jac Haudenschild was the only driver that was happy with the dash. Okay, right now, I'm telling you, they're warming them up. They're doing burnouts. They're doing everything you can imagine on this racetrack. Let's do a little whip around here and find out who our broadcast team thinks will win this A feature, this Eldora Clash. And let's go to Bobby Jarrell.
All right, Steve, there have been 70 A mains run at the Eldora Speedway in its history under the World of Outlaws banner, and Steve Kinzer has won 22 of those. I'll take the king. Dave Reef?
Oh, Bobby, you took the words right out of my mouth. The start is going to be key, and nobody knows how to start better on this racetrack than Steve Kinzer. I think those are the kinds of things that could lead him to this victory, although Andy Hillenburg does stand a good shot as well.
Okay, Brad Doty sitting to my right. What do you say as we look at Steve Kinzer?
Well, I think it's Jac Haudenschild's race to lose. He heard Andy Hillenburg say his car's twitchy. He didn't like it, and Haudenschild runs good here, and they got to catch him.
All right, there's another Buckeye you can't count out. That's the 23S car of Frankie Kerr from Fremont, Ohio. I think an Ohio driver will win it. That doubles up my chances.
There you go. Frankie's won a lot of races here with the All-Star Circuit. You know, he doesn't run with the World of Outlaws very often, but he's got to be real happy with a second row start.
Okay, let's take a look at the A lineup from the pole. It will be the yellow pencil car, Jac Haudenschild, number 22. Andy Hillenburg, oh man, he's got a good shot for his first feature win this year, number 2 car. Frankie Kerr, 23S, Steve Kinzer, always a threat. Stevie Smith, Sammy Swindell, the young, the veteran. Mark Kinzer, Craig Delansky, the 5N21G car. Mark, desperate for a win. You can hear it in his voice. Danny Lasoski wishes he was starting further up than in row number 5 alongside Kenny Jacobs. Jeff Shepard and Darrell Pittman occupy the 6th row. Forget and 21. Dale Blaney trying to get those Rookie of the Year points for the Amico team, number 93. 17S, Butch Schroeder will be alongside him. Donnie Schatz from North Dakota and Kevin Huntley in row number 8. Row number 9, Dean Jacobs and Brian Paulus. Row 10, Joey Saldana and Johnny Herrera. Johnny Herrera really wanted to start up in the front if he could. Greg Hodnett, Joe Gaerte, Tyler Walker, Todd Kane, Brad Doty,
I want to correct
Jeff Swindell with the very back.
Provisional. I want to correct you on one thing there, Steve. Andy Hillenburg's won 2 races this year at the Climb. I didn't want him coming up with Jeff Swindell looking for you after the races.
No, but I don't think he's ever won here. Okay, Dave?
I'm standing down with Bonsai Bruns, crew chief for Jac Haudenschild. What do you got in store for him tonight? You got it set on kill?
Yeah, we were pretty good in the dash, so we didn't change too much, and just going to let Hod take care of the rest.
Do his thing, stand on the gas.
Yep. And Dave Kennard, Chris Hager, they've been working their butt off, and things been going really good.
Guys that stuck around after Guy Forbrook left, right?
That's right, yep.
We wish you the best of luck tonight. Go get him.
All right, thanks.
Anybody nicknamed Bonsai usually earned it. And that's exactly what you're going to see from Jac Haudenschild. This will be a bonsai towards the win. First, let's get a look at the onboard camera shot from Johnny Herrera right off the front wing. Ooh, is that pretty?
That is. That's a nice shot.
Sponsored by Jet Hot, our onboard cameras tonight.
Donnie Schatz.
And here is Donnie Schatz, the North Dakota car on board with Donnie, again sponsored by Jet Hot, and they're getting ready to set up the traditional Pennzoil World of Outlaws salute to the fans who have jammed Eldora. Here they come, 4 abreast.
This is just the driver's way of thanking the fans for being here and spending their money and making this such a great event.
And the fans are waving shirts, waving hats. There is nobody sitting down in this racetrack in these grandstands. So it's precision flying, and look at, oh, the very back. How sad is that? It's the missing man formation by Jeff Swindell.
Back there all by himself.
Oh, Jeffy, that's horrible.
The old saying, it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you finish, right? So
yeah.
he'll go for it.
Don't tell you he couldn't get a top 10. You bet he did.
I'll tell you, back in the old days, so to speak, a guy starting in the back could do a little cheating. He could jump restarts and gain 4 or 5 cars.
How would you know that?
Well, I've seen people do it, Steve. I never did it
okay.
myself. But since they have the cone now, you can't pass until you pass the cone. It really has stopped a lot of that.
Oh, boy. So they reassemble in the correct order, 2 by 2. The Hod would lead them down, and I got to tell you, there's some guys back there, Frankie Kerr, Steve Kinzer, Stevie Smith, Sammy Swindell especially. It'll be interesting to watch the blue #1 channel lock car, because Sammy loves to push that start as hard as he can, what he thinks he can get away with.
Yeah, as they all do. That's why it's called sprint car racing. You just stand on the gas from the minute they give you the green. There's no strategy. Just run as hard as you can.
Well, it's a little strategy.
Yeah, that's to win the race.
That's right. So the pace car here at Eldora, we're going to give them 1 to go.
On board with Donnie Schatz there. Okay, see the white line right there? They have to be as close to side by side when they come down for the green flag, or they won't give them the start.
That's right. 30 laps. 13-second lapse times, even a little quicker than that. Speeds averaging over 120 miles an hour.
Jac Haudenschild starting up there on the front row, guys. If I was at a horse race, I'd probably hedge my bet on Kinzer with the little side money on the Hod. He has 7 wins this season, and despite being 12th in the Pennzoil World of Outlaws point standings, he's a 2-time King's Royal champ, which means, as we've said all night, he knows this racetrack. Here we go.
Here we go as Jac Haudenschild leads them down the yellow 22 car. And everybody safely through turns 1 and 2. Hillenburg just behind the Hod. That's the black 2 car. Look at Sammy, the #1 machine.
From the 3rd row to 3rd place.
And Steve Kinzer traveling in 4th in the green 11 car.
Yeah, but Sammy, boy, going from the 6th starting spot to 3rd, he's got to be real happy.
I said he'd push the start. He got away with it. But that's a great race right now between the black car from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
There's Jeff Swindell, 104 coming from the back at that provisional.
Yeah, well, he's getting a free test session for tomorrow's King's Royal. That's what that amounts to.
Oh, there's 94, Kenny Jacobs.
That's the battle for 9th and 10th, and that is between
Frankie Kerr there.
Kenny Jacobs, you're right.
And Dale Blaney right there behind him. Boy, they don't want to get the racing side by side a whole lot, or Dale Blaney will be right in there.
You got it.
Is on the bottom.
Kind of like Sammy Swindell said, he just wishes they'd all get out of his way. Yeah, right.
Look at that. Running through, Dale's running through the middle, then back up the cushion. Some of these guys are running the top.
And within just a few laps, there is traffic all the way around this half-mile oval. The leader in traffic, and that is Jac Haudenschild.
Look at this lapping Joey Saldana, who is no slouch at this place. Won a lot of races here. And I believe that's Joe Gaerte. Him?
Yes, it is. And Hod being very, very careful here to stay away from that traffic. Give him plenty of room.
Yep. But again, in sprint car racing, Steve, you can't be too careful. With no rear view mirrors, you just run as hard as you can.
And when you've got a lead like the Haudenschild, the Wild Child enjoys right now, you hope this thing runs green for 30 laps. The odds of that happening are pretty slim, but you'd like that to happen.
Their 7th and 8th spot, that's Mark Kinzer.
Yep, Mark Kinzer
right there on the inside on the 5M, going by the 83.
Now he takes over the 7th spot with the working car. The racetrack holding up magnificently for Jac Haudenschild. And not that far behind him, though, is Andy Hillenburg, as the Hod has been held up in traffic a bit. Hillenburg closed it up.
Right there is Andy Hillenburg. In 2nd, there's Sammy Swindell in the white #1 blue car. Boy, they're real close coming out of
turn 2, and that actually slowed Sammy up right there quite a bit.
Look at Sammy.
Running the extreme bottom.
The blue car, Swindell. The black car.
Look right behind them. There's the green Quaker State car of Steve Kinzer. You heard Sammy talking about two guys getting to race each other and sliding back and forth. It gives the guy a chance to catch up, and there's Steve moving in on him a little bit.
And it's Sammy doing it with Hillenburg.
Boy, look at this lap traffic. We talked about it in the open. The lap traffic was going to make this race. Sammy just took over second right there out of turn 2.
Yep, Andy Hillenburg is pushed back to third, and here comes the king, Steve Kinzer. Points later in the World of Outlaw circuit, which reached its halfway point last Friday night.
Stevie Smith there on the bottom in the black 19. It's our in-car with Johnny Herrera. That's 14th. Johnny's in 14th. That's Jeff Swindell in 15th, right behind him there.
Yep, not a good night for Johnny Herrera. Hoping for a lot more tomorrow. And remember, we'll be here 9 to 11 Eastern live. All right, here we go. Back to the front. 2 and 11.
That's
battling for that second position.
That's actually third. Sammy Swindell's in second. Steve Kinzer trying to take third away from Andy Hillenburg. The black number 2 running right up against the wall.
That's where you've got to run.
Yeah, it's getting higher and higher and higher out of turn 2. Oh, and Andy really gets sideways there.
We have 14 laps to go.
But then we'll see what happened there. Steve went to the bottom, and when he slid up the racetrack, he just spun the tires, and it takes forever to get back up to speed, and Andy was able to pull away from him.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how the average lap speeds fall off once there are cars all the way around this racetrack. It's pretty dramatic. There's 104. That's Jeff Swindell. Remember, he brought out a fresh car after the B main. Took a provisional, started way at the back. Boy, is he fighting that car.
Yeah, you know, you can tell when a driver how he feels by watching his arms and how much he's thrashing the race car. And he is definitely sitting up in the seat, manhandling that car.
Andy Hillenburger, one of the drivers, mentioned that his car was kind of twitchy, and he said twitchy is not good at Eldora.
Twitchy is not comfortable at this racetrack, that's for sure. Now, that's Jac Haudenschild. In a lot of lap traffic, you saw Tyler Walker about to get back by him. Jack had to slow up for that lap car of Herrera right in front of him. And look at Sammy closing in, but Hod's going to get right by there going into turn 1.
Yep, Herrera goes a lap down.
Boy, that was a nice move for Jac Haudenschild because Sammy had put, oh, we got a car stopped. That's down on it coming out of turn 2.
That's an awkward angle to try to get over.
I think it's
20.
No, it's the 83. It's the 83 of Danny Lasoski.
So the dude, unfortunately, has parked it and has brought out a yellow, which is unfortunate for Jac Haudenschild, who had a pretty substantial lead. And now Sammy Swindell will be right on his nerve bar with Hillenburg behind him, followed by Steve Kinzer and Stevie Smith. What a shootout we have got for the last 10 laps of the A main. Stay with us.
They say fruit's good for your body. Everybody loves fruit. Natural fruit. Wild fruit. Peeling fruit. Warm bodies. Hard bodies. Everybody. Everybody. Fruit of the Loom. It's underwear. Get it? Everybody. Everybody. Everybody loves fruit.
Here at the first hole of the Cooper Tire Invitational, a tough par 8000, dogleg left from San Francisco over the Mojave. A quick update. Earlier leader Arnold Palmer in front of a pesky Giant O. Then he found the rough, and lots of it. Yet he seems to be moving along quite well. Bill?
Thanks, Jim. Arnie, what are you using on this rough terrain?
Cooper tires.
All right, you heard it. Arnie, Lang 6020.
The world is your course. Drive on.
Everyone gets fresh flowers for an anniversary or prom date, but fresh flowers lack a lifetime guarantee. I take small True Value buckets and, with the help of my wife Punky, just a what if. Put various master mechanic tools in them to form an elegant and useful floral motif my handier customers really appreciate.
It's beautiful.
The Beast, Milwaukee's best.
Want 50% more shine stuff? Get new Ultra Shine Protectant from Armor All. It's the ultimate shine.
July 25th on TNN Motorsports. It's IndyCar racing the way it should be.
Through the grass. Oh, look at this.
For the lead on the outside, 3 wide.
That was close. Oh, dropping back straightaway.
Don't miss the high speed on the high banks as the Pep Boys Indy Racing League invades the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's the Visionaire 500, live July 25th at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on TNN Motorsports.
Well, the Outlaws are all set up for a shootout at the Eldora Corral. We are live on TNN Motorsports. There are 10 laps left in the A main. And here's the top 5. The Wild Child, Sammy Swindell, the world champion, Andy Hillenburg. A tremendous night. Steve Kinzer, the king of the Outlaws. Stevie Smith, the young guy out of Pennsylvania. But this has got everything for a great 10 laps. Let's go down to Bobby Jarrell. What happened to the dude?
Danny Lasoski just spoke with crew members from the Roth Motorsports number 83 team, said he got together with Darren Pittman. Those two cars had contact, the 83 and the 21. Danny says everything's all right other than his temper. That was over the radio to the crew guys.
Here we go. Rex has got the green flag out, just 10 laps and a half mile. It'll go quickly.
Boy, did you see what Johnny Herrera did nice for him? He was a lap car. He just pulled the inside of the racetrack and let Sammy go for the race. But Jack... looks like so far he's still got this in hand. There's on board with Johnny Herrera. Now he's a lap car.
Herrera was just placing our onboard camera in an ideal position. Thank you, John.
Yeah, out in there's Steve Kinzer in the green 11 and Andy Hillenburg in the black 2.
And that's a fight for third spot. Hillenburg has it. Kinzer wants it.
There's Stevie Smith. Black 19, that's for 4th. Actually 5th. Yeah, that was just a lot of lap traffic there. Stevie had to squeeze through them there.
And
there's Mark Kinzer.
Yep. Not having a brilliant night. Not having anywhere close to the night that he wanted.
Boy, in that interview, he almost had to force a smile, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
The main event.
And there's back up front. That's the 22 car. That is the Wild Child. And he is really having a goose, I think, a little bit more now. This track is maybe not quite as tight as it was.
Right. It's slicked off quite a bit, and that makes it tougher for the drivers because what happens, the car gets sideways, like I talked earlier. You hit a snow patch or something, it jerks the car sideways. Well, then you might hit some moisture in the racetrack, and it wants to straighten it out, as it did right there. You can see him turn left to keep it out of the wall.
All right, let's go back to 9th and 10th. Kenny Jacobs and Kerr in the 21 car. There you go. Whoa. Ooh.
It's like Craig Delansky in the 21G, Kenny Jacobs in the 94. Schatz is in there. There's Frankie Kerr.
And the track's starting to show a bit of a blue groove.
Yeah, and it's too cool tonight. Now look how close this is out of turn 2. Look at that shot. It's really too cool to get rubber down and get the track sticky like we saw last weekend.
All right, let's again have a look at the 22 car of Jac Haudenschild, who was having his way.
You know, and I saw
with this field.
When they did an interview with him, he had his radio earplug, the wire hanging out of his ear. So it looks like they've got the radio in the car, and I'm sure the crew chief is telling him.
There's the interval to 2 and 11, a commanding lead, and you saw Steve Kinzer exit your screen left. This is a white flag. Jac Haudenschild is a half a mile away.
Nice lead. He doesn't have anything to worry about. Just keep it between the fences down here in 3 and 4.
Sammy Swindell apparently is going to have to settle for second place. Whoa, but he wasn't far behind. Sammy Swindell launched a major challenge there on those last couple of laps. He didn't lose that thing but more than a couple of car lengths. Either that or the Hod slowed down just to tease him. One or the other.
I don't know if now there's Sammy again looking up. You see him moving the wing back forward.
Yep. Okay, let's go down to David Reef. What an A feature.
Oh, unbelievable, Steve. Jac Haudenschild was absolutely dominant. 3 nights ago, they ran out of gas at running 5th, but tonight, no problems with gas. Jack Eldon, you have done a great job maintaining the integrity of this team. They flew tonight.
Really? Well, I think the team has done a great job sticking together, and I think Jack has done a wonderful job getting in the last 2 months, last month anyway.
I know Jack Eldon, he can't be any prouder of this team than what the effort they showed tonight.
Well, they really showed what they're made of. They had a lot of upheavals in that crew, and they have recovered beautifully. They're recovering in the winner's circle. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll talk to a lot of people. Bye.
There's a reason nature made it so simple.
simple to give them the calcium they need. The same reason we just made Nutrigrain bars an excellent source of calcium. Because we know it's important to you and your kids. New Kellogg's Nutrigrain bars. It's that simple.
Hi, I'm Jim Palmer. You know, a lot of people ask me, what can the money store do for me? Well, let's take a look. Say your monthly mortgage payment is $650. Your car payment $400, your monthly credit card minimum $350 for a total of $1,400. Now, watch what can happen when you refinance with a money store. Monthly payments cut nearly in half. That's huge savings directly in your pocket each month. And better yet, the interest is tax deductible. So call 1-800-LOAN-YES to refinance your mortgage today. It really adds up.
Dad, aren't you forgetting something?
Oh, right. 10-10-3-2-1.
You were the one who told me we save over AT&T on every call if we dial 10-10-3-2-1, then 1, and then the number.
I love when you listen to me.
Yeah, we even save 50% on calls over 20 minutes.
That's right. You know, last month we were on the phone with your grandmother for a half an hour, and it cost less than $2.
So I guess, Dad, the only thing you have to do is remember to dial 10-10-3-2-1 first. So remember...
10-10-3-2-1. I got it.
Even the cutest pets can be little stinkers. So use Arm & Hammer Carpet and Room Deodorizer with the power of baking soda. Look, our odor detector shows strong pet odors, but Super Pet Fresh actually eliminates them. No buts about it. You need Arm & Hammer.
Meteor! Meteor shower! Run for your life! Meteor! Meteor!
You guys watch too many movies.
Nestle Bunch of Crunch. It's just more fun to munch.
Well, there is joy in Buckeye Land. Even the folks that are going home go home with a memory of their man, Jac Haudenschild, winning here tonight on a wonderful racetrack. And there is Jack down right now, and I'll bet Bobby Gerald's nearby.
That's right. I'm standing alongside Jac Haudenschild. And, Jack, congratulations again on another breathtaking run here at the Eldora Speedway. We say this all the time, but, I mean, you guys put on a show here at this racetrack. It's unbelievable.
Well, the racetrack, it was perfect tonight. I mean, it had 3 or 4 grooves in it, and you could move around all over on the racetrack. And the track, Earl had the track, just couldn't have got it much better than that. And my Pennzoil car is running good, and I just got to thank Jack and Carol Weldon for giving me such a good race car, and good Lord above for making it all possible.
You want to introduce us to the young ones here crawling all over? I know this is Justin, right?
Yeah, this is my oldest one, Justin, right here, and this is my youngest one, Sheldon, and Raquel, the middle one.
All right, now, Jack, in the last few laps, Sammy Swindell closed it up on you a little bit there after the yellow flag. Were you using the radios tonight, and did you know how close he was?
Actually, they told me Sammy was second on the start, so I didn't have to ask him much more because I knew he was keeping up with me. So that's all they said is Sammy's still second.
Jack, there's been a lot made about the transition that your team has gone through after you had the injury and you've come back, but you guys have come back so strong and really held everything together. What has the last 3 or 4 weeks been like for you as a race team?
Well, you know, the crew guys, you know, you got to hand it to the crews on every one of these teams out here because, you know, they put in a lot of hours and it's unbelievable to me. I mean, they tire me out watching them, and we got 3 guys on our crew, and they all work real hard, and they just work on the car every day.
You've taken home the King's Royal money a couple times already in your career. Tomorrow night we'll be right back here with you at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Are you already thinking about that $50,000?
Well, actually, I was thinking tonight would have been a good night for that. I felt pretty good tonight, and we qualified bad, but we got lucky, and they drawed the right number, and we got in the front of the dash. So, you know, we're just hoping tomorrow goes as smooth as it did tonight.
Congratulations to you once again, Jack.
Thank you.
Jac Haudenschild, the winner, just as Brad Doty predicted. Dave Reef?
Sammy Swindell, who finished second tonight, a good run for the Channel Lock car, and probably the thing that enabled you to get that far up was a wonderful start.
Yeah, we made a great start with a Channel Lock car and got right up into third there. Guys just left me a big hole, and you know, I was worried that they might not let the start go. They might bring it back or something, but the guys were all even there at the line, and I just got a good run off the hill, and Steve left me a hole and went right through all them guys. But we were close. We've been fighting the car all night, being a little bit tight. When we've been here before, the track's been a lot drier, and we had a good setup for that, but now they changed it around on us, and we had to find a new one.
1.47 seconds was the differential at the finish line, thanks to the new timing and scoring system. It's probably a little bit closer, but coming out of turn 2 on that last lap, it's like maybe got up in the wall a little bit.
Yeah, when I went into 1, if I don't know, we got something slipped or something. I don't know if the steering arm or we've got a hub that's a little loose on the right front, but the car I turned in and been running above them holes and running up there pretty close, and when I went in that time, it didn't turn. The wall turned it, so I was a little cautious going back down into the next corner because I wasn't sure if something broke or not, and I didn't want to run in full speed, and I didn't want to run in up close to the wall. I just kind of took it easy, and they told me I had a pretty good lead, so we just nursed it around.
Great job coming home second tonight, though.
Thanks.
Well, Sammy Swindell is kind of lucky, actually. He didn't have 3 kids using him for a jungle gym and sponsors using his head for a hat. Chasing as well as the scepter, crown, and the $50,000 paycheck for the 97 Kings Royal. After a rough start for the 98 season, the points lead now belongs to King Kinzer, and the recent addition of Guy Forbrook has paid immediate dividends with a win in Fargo, keeping hopes high to retain the reign here at the Kings Royal, and to add points to stay on track to a 15th Pennzoil World of Outlaws title. Since 1954, the sweet sounds of dirt track racing have rattled the kernels on the corn in the fields of western Ohio. Tonight at Eldora Speedway, add the sound of a giant cash register as the month of money begins for the Pennzoil World of Outlaws. It's the $50,000 to win Kings Royal. Now here's the perfect way to start our TNN Motorsports Live 2 hours. 8 cars, 4 laps to set the first 4 rows of the Kings Royal for 50 G's. Why these 8 drivers? Let's go to the pits. First, Bob Gerald.
All right, Steve. These drivers are in the field because just moments ago, they ran 6 heat races. The winners of each of those 6 heat races have qualified for the dash. They were inverted by their qualifying time so that the fastest qualifier among the heat race winners starts on the outside of the 3rd row. And the second fastest qualifier among the heat race winners was Jac Haudenschild. He'll start inside of row number 3, and we're with his crew chief, Dean Bonsai Bruns. And Dean, Haud was awesome here last night. He got the win. Tonight in this dash, it's only 4 laps from the 3rd row. Can he finish at least 1st or 2nd to start on the front row of the Kings Royal?
I don't know if he can get the 1st, but he's really good about gaining a couple spots in the dash. And, of course, we got 40 laps in the main, so we're sitting pretty good for being in the first 3 rows anyway.
These guys are going to be putting the hammer down. Now, to tell you about the 7th and 8th starting positions, let's go to our pit colleague, Dave Reeve.
Bobby, the final 2 starting spots will come from the cars, the quickest qualifying cars that have already transferred into tonight's A-Main, but did not win the event. Those drivers, Dale Blaney and Danny Lasoski. This is the dude's crew chief, Jimmy Carr. Jimmy, can he start 8th and come up in only 4 laps?
Well, it is a very short race. Our dashes are normally longer than this. That's a long ways to go. There's some tough guys that we race with every night, and they're hard to pass. They ain't going to let us go by. But my heart's in that guy. I know he can do it.
We wish you the best of luck. With the majority of the World of Outlaw winners all coming from the first 4 rows, these 8 guys have the inline to tonight's $50,000 payday. Meanwhile, calling tonight's Royal Rumble will be the guys upstairs, Brad Doty, Steve Evans.
Okay, thank you, guys. Here's the lineup. Here's the 8 cars. Garen Pittman surprisingly finds himself on the pole alongside of Jeff Swindell with the Ford. A pair of Steves in row number 2. We're going to green quickly. Steve Kinzer and Steve Smith, Jac Haudenschild, Sammy Swindell in row 3. Dale Blaney and Danny Lasoski in row number 4. And remember, this will determine the top 8 on the grid for the $50,000 Kings Royal in a little less than 2 hours, Brad Doty.
This could be Jeff Swindell's best opportunity ever to win this Kings Royal. Starting on the outside front row of this dash, if he wins this thing, start on the pole.
And last night was so frustrating for Jeff Swindell. In fact, he was so angry with his race car. For the A-Main, he brought out a provisional car, had to start at the back and passed half the field. And probably learned something from last night. Now, the track is a lot different tonight than it was last night, and it doesn't take as much horsepower on a racetrack the way it is tonight. Okay, the pace car should come up on this lap. Yes, he will. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to TN Motorsports Live. Race number 1.
I'll bring that one back.
They're going to bring that one back. I'll bet on that. I'll bet on that. I may lose this bet. Nope, the yellow is out. We're going to restart that one. You talk about some anxious drivers, especially the way they have inverted this thing. Your quicker guys are back in the 4th and 5th position.
Well, and what that looked like to me is Darren Pittman got a little bit of a jump on Jeff Swindell, and Jeff just stayed off the gas, hoping that it'd be such a ragged start that they'd bring it back.
Just made him look bad.
Yeah. So he got what he needed there, and they'll be a little closer this time. You can bet on that.
It is a beautiful night for racing. It's in the low 80s right now. Low to nights must be around 65. That's got to sound good to people who are suffering through the heat all over the country, so maybe we can blow a little of this nice weather your way. Okay, we're going to try it again. Take 2 on the dash.
One more lap here.
Yep, one more lap. They didn't like the lineup.
Maybe a little warning from the officials. They better keep it together this time.
Let me tell you what, this is the largest crowd ever for the Kings Royal. I haven't heard of actual count, but it's got to be 20,000, 25,000.
Oh, it's incredible.
This is a very sprawling racetrack. You can watch this race in your lawn chair, in your $500,000 motorhome, or anywhere in between.
Paul just added a lot more seats and filled them up quick.
The Earl of Eldora, the man who has operated this racetrack since 1954.
There we go. That looks a lot better.
Now we got to start. Steve Kinzer ducks down low into turn number 1. But look at Jeff Swindell, the 104 car.
Look at Sammy Swindell coming out of turn 2 underneath Kinzer and gets by.
That's the blue number 1 channel lock car. Chasing his own brother.
Could it be a Swindell front row?
It could be. Not if Steve Kinzer has anything to say about it. Look at that slide, right up against the wall.
Well, Steve went in so low they were trying to get underneath Sammy that he scrubbed so much speed sliding up across the racetrack. They gave Haudenschild there in the yellow 22 a chance to close in on him.
There's only 2 laps remaining. Sammy says, little bro, what are you doing to me?
He's checking out right now. After taking a provisional last night just to get in the show, he's got the white flag lap. That's a keeper out of the wall for one more lap. And that's sometimes not easy to do the way this racetrack is. You can see how close they have to run. That's down the back straightaway, especially coming out of turn 2.
I don't care how they finish here or how they line up for the Kings Royal. Any of these 8 drivers, when that time comes, could still win this thing. Obviously, it's an advantage to be up front, but don't think a Kinzer can't win it from the 4th row. Anybody named Kinzer.
Well, and absolutely, and it, like they said earlier, it's a 40-lap race, and if you put it in the wall, you crash it in this race, you're done.
So Jeff Swindell, Sammy Swindell, Steve Kinzer, Jac Haudenschild, Steve Smith, Lasoski, Pittman, and Blaney. We'll talk to them when we come back to the Kings Royal live on TNN.
Every so often, something comes along so good, it's almost evil. Something that can't be explained, but only embraced. The Outlaw Performance Fuel Additives. The Outlaw. The additive with attitude.
Team Mopar. Parts for sprint cars and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar. Team Mopar. Parts for NASCAR Super Truck and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar.
In NASCAR, recycling scrap metal is a job description.
Here you go, buddy. Man, these NASCAR rules are tough.
And you can do your part, too.
Rusty's found his true calling.
As Miller Lite presents TNN Motorsports Take Home a Piece of the Action sweepstakes.
Man, these pretty parts make great planners.
Watch the New Hampshire 300 Sunday, August 30th on TNN. On a postcard, write down who is leading at the end of the 50th lap. Send it in by September 5th, and you could win a trip to the MB&A Gold 400.
I hope they spell the name right. You think it'll matter?
Plus a piece of a car from one of these guys.
Hey, I hear Wallace scrap pays top dollar.
You'll meet one of the drivers, get a tour of pit row, and see the race in the TNN Luxury Suite.
You gotta watch TNN to win.
Then you'll be qualified for the grand prize.
Hey, can you guys give me a hand over here? Yeah, we'll be right there.
A day at the Richard Petty Driving School and this one-of-a-kind 1998 Pontiac Grand Prix.
Hey, maybe you should enter, Ricky. Are you old enough to drive yet?
Brought to you by Outback Steakhouse, Kawasaki, and Serengeti Eyewear.
Take home a piece of the action today.
This special presentation of the Pennzoil World of Outlaws is brought to you by Pennzoil, formulated for today's stop and go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil. Welcome back, everyone. It is a madhouse here at the 15th annual Kings Royal Eldora Speedway, live on TNN Motorsports. Here's the result of the dash and how they'll line up for the first 4 rows. Jeff Swindell with that Ford. He'll be on the pole. Alongside him will be his brother, Sammy Swindell. Then Steve Kinzer, and followed by Jac Haudenschild, followed by Stevie Smith, Danny Lasoski, the Dude. There's Pittman and Dale Blaney. That's how they'll line up for that. So let's go down to Bobby Gerald. I bet he's got the winner.
Yes, I do, Steve, and guess what? This guy's happy. We haven't seen him smiling like this in a long time. Jeff, congratulations. You're on the pole of the Kings Royal.
Hey, you know, a guy can't be too pissed about that.
I don't think he can. A nice, short, concise answer. You're trying to switch things up on us. Now, your brother's going to be on the outside of the front row, and let me tell you, he was coming big time. He started 6th and finished 2nd. Can you handle him?
Well, I mean, the outside's definitely the place to start here, you know. He's going to have the run coming off the corner, but it's 40 laps, and it's a long ways. And, you know, sometimes he takes a few chances that the normal guy wouldn't, and it can get you in trouble a lot of times here. You get a lot of traffic. I mean, you got to run really hard. You got to keep her on the wall as much as you can. The car's got to be nice to drive off the wall. I mean, I could run through 1 and 2, kind of down off the wall about 7-8 feet, and the car was locked down pretty nice. Come off 2 real good. We had a softer tire on it. Started giving up right there at the end, but they told me Sammy was about 7 car lengths back there the last 2 laps, and they said he maintained that. So, hey, I'm happy about that. You know, the way things have gone last night, it's been really tough, and I tell you, this crew's really worked hard, and they've dug hard, and you know, we're in here to win this thing, and it's been a long time since I won Eldora, so, hey, second time back here in a long time would be nice for 50 grand.
Yes, it would. His best finish was 3rd in 1994, Dave Reeve.
Oh, Bobby, the hardest charger, without a doubt, had to be Sammy Swindell, who started 6th, came all the way to 2nd, had a lap of 126 miles an hour. And now you're next to Big Brother. Can you whoop him?
Well, I don't know. You know, it's I think we're in the right spot. You know, he won from the outside, and he's running the top. So I think the channel lock car's up to the challenge. You know, we've come out and got a good lap tonight, qualified 2nd. You know, that guaranteed us at least a spot in the dash, and we wound up winning our heat. And car was working good then. We made a few adjustments from last night and found a few things that we did where we were a little bit off, and the car's a lot better tonight. You know, I think we can, if we can get the right tires on a good set on there and get in the right direction, I think we'll have a good run here.
Well, the channel lock sure got a grip in that dash. It's all Swindell on the front row. $50,000 at stake, guys.
And hard to believe that those 2 guys are brothers the way they talk. You know, normally we've had to start this show with the C main. And no offense to you guys, an occasional girl in the C main. That was the way to do it, buddy.
Boy, that was
8
good
hitters right out of the box.
The top fast guys, there they are. You know, last night they complained the racetrack was a little bit too fast. Well, it's not tonight. The guys that's going to have to run right up on the top and get a right tire selection, there's going to be a lot of wall banging tonight.
And that wall, that is so intimidating. And when it gets covered with dirt, you can't even see it.
Well, we talked about that last night. The guys that run here the best have a lot of experience on this track, and they can run up there. They know how to get the car to feel good. That's very important. You know, Andy Hillenburg said last night he was twitching. Yep. He didn't run very good. So it's key to get the car right and run up there and just maybe close that one eye and just run as close to the wall as you can.
Well said. It's going to be a fine night. And coming up, as soon as we come back live here on TNN Motorsports, we're going to show you highlights of 6 exciting heats that got all those guys to the dash.
Every so often, something comes along so good, it's almost evil. Something that can't be explained, but only embraced. The Outlaw Performance Fuel Additives. The Outlaw. The additive with attitude.
For over 60 years, Mopar Parts Division of Chrysler Corporation has been building a name for itself.
Line of his first Southern 500 NASCAR race.
The only name guaranteed to perform in Chrysler Corporation vehicles. Dodge Plymouth heavy-powered cars finish 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. On the track or on the street.
Big Daddy Doggone It has broken the 270 miles.
Always insist on Mopar parts.
Alderman and Jeffrey on finish 1.
Get real. Get Mopar.
When the job is tough, you need the best. And when you need the best, you reach for channel lock. for the power, the precision. For just plain counting on, there's only one, channel lock. Reach for it.
In South Dallas, a lot of folks like to work on their cars, and a lot of them come to AutoZone. They save money on top quality parts, and they find helpful people like Rocky Brown. Oh, sure, there are other parts stores in town, but Rocky's the kind of guy folks go out of their way to see. He's good at solving problems, and he really knows his parts. You see, when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
We're back live on TNN Motorsports to the race that thinks it's a party, or vice versa. Doesn't matter. Everybody's having a great time as the sun slowly sets here in western Ohio. Now, here's the format for the rest of the evening. We'll see the C main. That'll be 10 laps with 25 cars. The top 4 transfer to the B main. They tag the B. In the B, it'll be 12 laps with 22 cars. The top 4 transfer to the A and get their time trial back. But because of that dash, no one that transferred could start better than 9th. The A main, 20 laps of all-out war for $50,000. With 40 laps, rather, for full-out war for 24 cars. Okay, as we promised earlier, we're going to move right in here to the heat highlights. And heat number 1 was pretty interesting because a guy by the name of Darren Pittman out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, found himself in a unique position, and that was running way up front. Let's have a look. Johnny Herrera got a great start in the 47 car. Watch the 47 car. Pittman takes the lead in the 21 machine.
Yeah, Johnny started in the 3rd row, was running 2nd, coming out of 2, but Pittman did a nice job.
And here was the late charge by Johnny Herrera in that 47 car, but it was not going to be enough. And Darren Pittman found himself in the dash. He's out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Here was heat number 2, Brad. Sammy Swindell had a fabulous start.
There he is on the bottom. Yeah, he goes right down the bottom, pinches the car off, and watch coming out of turn 2. He gets a run. You'll see him on the bottom of your screen right there. Shoots up through the pack.
But he had a tough time with the youngster Donnie Schatz from Minot, North Dakota in the 15 car.
Right there, that's Todd Kane in the 5 car. He's going to get him, right here, he's going into 2nd, going into turn 3. Sammy's running the extreme bottom, and nobody had run, you know, the heat races or hot laps even down there. So he was really making that bottom work.
And here is Donnie Schatz, the guy we were talking about, North Dakota Athlete of the Year for 1998. And Schatz was just tenaciously battling the 3-time World of Outlaws champion, but Sammy had just a little too much steam, and Sammy took it. Heat number 4. Or rather, heat number 3. Okay.
Brian Paulus got the lead there. Coming out of turn 2, right there he goes. There's Haudenschild. Another great start for him, starts from the 3rd row.
Now, Kenzer fans, Steve Kenzer fans were beginning to worry just a little bit here because he was having some problems.
There's Jac. There's Jac right there, going underneath the Mark Kenzer. That's out of turn 2. What a bold move for Jac to go down there and slide right up in front of Mark and just drove away from him. Now watch right there. That's Brian Paulus, our leader. Flattened the right rear tire. What a problem for him.
And look at this, kaboom on the back stretch.
That's turn 2 is the worst because the wall actually comes in probably 6-8 inches to a foot. There's a dip in the wall right there, so it's hard to, well, it's not hard to hit it as he shows, but it's hard to judge where it's at, and sometimes that's what happens, and Jac Swindell goes right by there on the inside.
Yep.
He went on to win it. It's out of turn 4. Notice a different color fuel tank. He didn't crash or anything. This is a 40-lap race. They put the big fuel tank on it.
Okay, now we move along to heat number 4, which featured...
Poor Frankie Kerr.
Yep.
No, just a victim of circumstances. Rob Chaney in the 42 and Ed Lynch got together, turned Lynch down into Frankie Kerr. That wasn't all the bad luck for Ed Lynch.
No.
He gets tagged there a little bit. Dean Jacobs turns him around, bangs her off the wall.
And Stevie Smith, the 19 car out of Pennsylvania, went on untouched like so many of the others to take that checkered flag and a berth in the dash. Heat number 5. Here was Steve Kenzer, and he was starting way back in 6th, and he knew he had to win it to get to the dash. So he went up high,
Look at that run off of turn 2, and he'll go to the inside of Joe Gaerte right here.
And look at the power. Inside of Gaerte, what we didn't plan on was the guy running just in front of him there, man.
Now watch this. This is the slide that goes up, takes the line away.
Charlie
tries to get back underneath of him, and he will, going into turn 3. Right here, Charlie Fisher probably could have moved up and took the line away from Steve, but he was a gentleman, left him open, and Steve wins it.
Steve wins it by 36 thousandths of a second. And the final heat, much like the dash, was all Jeff Swindell.
Right through the middle. Boy, look at that. Split those cars. Whew. These guys, I mean, these heat races, they make your hair stand up because they know they got to get to the front and do it in a hurry.
And for the Ford fans, this was a chance to really cheer on their guy. And from there, it was see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
Nice run for him.
All right, we will have the Desperation C-Main coming up live on TNN Motorsports from the Kings Royal right after some quick messages. What a pretty puppy.
Every so often, something comes along so good, it's almost evil. Something that can't be explained, but only embraced. The Outlaw Performance Fuel Additives. The Outlaw. The additive with attitude.
Were you born without a soul?
Excuse me?
You don't know how to love, do you?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about this.
It's just an oil filter.
Just an oil filter? Look, nothing stops more dirt than America's #1 brand of oil filter, Fram. Now get out of here. How do you live with yourself?
Fram oil filters. Pay a little more now, or pay a lot later.
You gotta love this big racetrack at Eldora, and you gotta love the fans that comes to the Kings Royal and all the big races that Earl Ballas has here, because you gotta camp out. It's miles and miles from any kind of accommodations, at least an hour, and everybody they just party for 3 days. And here is the lineup for the C feature. Brian Paulus, we saw the problems he had with the wall in the 28 car, and there's the young lady, Sarah Fisher, in the 9 car in row number 1. Rob Cheney and Al Schmidt, the 42 car, and 255, that's Schmidt.
There's row 4, Jeff Williams, Bobby Allen, 1A, Scruffy, Tim Allison, Tim Schaefer, Donnie Jeske, and Billy Wilburn.
Then we've got Dwayne Lieber in row 7 alongside of Fred Boso. James Fisher and Chris Simon are there in row number 8. Mark Slade, the 1T car, and Keith Crabtree, the 51 car. Brian Crisp in row 10, that's the 1CX car. Billy Jarrell and 22J, Randy Fink, Jim Burgoon, Steve Jenkins, and Larry Neighbors round out the list of 24 cars. If you don't finish in the top 4, you're out of here.
That's it. You're done.
The 99S and the 21J car have scratched. That is Tim Schaefer, and 21J would be... Let's go down and talk to Dave Reef. David?
Steve, you mentioned Brian Paulus getting up in the wall in heat race number 3. How tough a break was that for that lower finance team out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania? They also destroyed a wheel. That probably cost them $400 there. And by slipping up and making that mistake, it kept him from being on the pole for tonight's dash, which pays, or for the A-main, for the dash and for the A-main, which pays $1,200 to start. So that was a pretty costly mistake. It's bumped him all the way back to the C-main.
In fact, the total cash purse tonight is $124,100. 50,000 of that to the winner of the Kings Royal, the 10 car.
What Brian Paulus has to do is just block that deal of hitting the wall, clear out of his mind, and just do everything he can. Again, if he wins this thing, though, we've seen it before, Steve, starting on the back of that B-main, it's a long way to go, and there's a lot of good race cars in that B-main.
They're going to give the 10W car, who was late coming out of the pits, apparently another lap so that he can catch up with the field, which has been... The wing apparently broke, and the mechanics had to find some bolts and get them screwed in there, but everything's okay now. He'll be in there. Bobby Jarrell, what you got?
Well, one of the things you might notice tonight, guys, is that many of the teams are going with a bigger tail tank on their sprint car. Danny Lasoski last night had his big tank on, but it got crushed, and so they had to get a new one today. This tank right here holds 29 gallons of fuel, about 3 more than the tanks that they would normally run out here on the dirt racetracks that hold about 26 gallons. Now, this one, they didn't even have time to paint it, so I tell you what we're going to do. Oh, my pin's not working too hot here, but I'm trying to get an 83 on there for the dude. What do you think of that, dude?
I think anything will help. We kind of crushed our good tank last night, and we got another one today, and hope we don't do it again.
I hope not, too. We're about to go green. C-Main's going to be fun.
We are green. Brian Paulus and Sarah Fisher come off the front row. The 28 car and the beautiful blue 9F. Sarah Fisher not at all intimidated by these guys. She's run with them plenty, Brad.
Yeah, she has. She run the Eldora quite a few times, and like we've talked before, you know, it takes a lot of experience, and just hope she has a good run here. She's really a neat kid. Said last night she might go to midgets next year, might be her last year in a sprint car, so it'd be nice to see her make the A-main.
And Rob Cheney, the 42 car, he runs third. There's 6 and 42.
Yeah, Rob Cheney, he's from Millersburg, Ohio, where Jac and Haudenschild brothers grew up, so he runs locally and know him pretty well.
That's the battle for the third spot. The transfer spot is just behind them. You've got to hang on to fourth, and right now that is the 42 car of Rob Cheney.
Yeah, and he's got some competition coming up for him. That's Bobby Allen, it looks like, yeah, on the inside there. Oh, we got a spin down in turn 2.
With the glare off the lights, very difficult to read the number on the wing. In fact, it's impossible.
It's the, I believe it's the car that hit the wall last night that we saw.
Well, we'll figure that out when we come back. He's got a Jessel motor, we can tell that. It's the 2B car. And that is Jim Burgoon from Lima Oil. Stay with us. We'll have a restart of the C-Main when we come back. Was it Halloween?
Every so often, something comes along so good, it's almost evil. Something that can't be explained, but only embraced. The Outlaw Performance Fuel Additives. The Outlaw. The additive with attitude.
Team Mopar. Parts for sprint cars and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar. Team Mopar. Parts for NASCAR Super Truck and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar.
They're the biggest, the meanest machines in motorsports. They're monster trucks. Plus, there's Pro Arena trucks. Join Dusty and the gang for another Friday night at 8 Eastern on TNN Motor Madness.
CMT travels the good old US of A, up the boulevards, down the highways, and across the byways every week, just to gather the most culturally significant and supremely watchable country music videos. Well, for that week at least. CMT has 12 large slots to fill, counting down all the way till we show you our big one. That's what we like to call our #1 video of the week. You'll see the wild, the weird, and the wonderful. Turn on to the CMT Top 12 Countdown this weekend. It's time for you to make your request for the CMT request line. Here's how.
Hi, I'm Mindy McCready. Call 1-900-288-4CMT now and tell us which video you want to see on the next CMT request line.
Make your request now and then turn on to the next CMT request line.
We are TNN Motorsports. So happy you could join us for the Kings Royal here in Rossburg, Ohio. The C-Main is still under yellow. There are 7 laps to go, and here's the top 5. Brian Paulus, who started on the pole, the 28 car. Sarah Fisher hanging in there in her pretty little blue 9 car. Nick Neighbor in the 6 machine, 42, Rob Cheney, 1A Scruffy, Bobby Allen. And here's why we were under caution. Watch the left-hand side of your screen when the replay racks up, and you will see the 2B car of Jim Burgoon, Brad.
Just right in the middle of the racetrack, and just looks like he lost it. Just got in a little hard, and race car not set up properly, a little loose, and just backed her around there. See, there was no damage or anything, so nothing broke. He just spun out.
Nope, so he'll tag the back of the pack. And we've got 1 to go under yellow before we resume for 7 more laps of racing. Rex Lejeune, initial starter for Eldora Speedway. What's a pretty night for the fans, for the racers. It's comfortable.
Couldn't ask for a better night. You know, and like we said, Earl always says, one more hot dog, you know, and
it's going to break
even. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Earl.
Everywhere you look, there are people around this racetrack.
Earl's been saying that for almost 50 years during Eldora. One more dog, and if he buys a beer, I'll really turn a profit. Don't worry, they'll roll plenty of that out of here before this weekend is over. Okay, we're going to have a single file restart. It would appear that we will. There's a cone right down in the front stretch, and you can't pass until you get to that cone.
There it is. There's the cone. They'll have to go single file. Then look out after that. See Nick Neighbor in the 6th.
Yep, Brian Paulus out there. Sarah Fisher hanging on. Both. Sarah Fisher falls back to 3rd, and she may even go back to 4th. Nope, she's going to hang on to 3rd. That a girl. You got to be 4th and better to transfer.
Yeah, that's Nick Neighbor. Just got by there for 2nd place. It's Tim Allison back there. There's Bobby Allen. Right there, the red 11. That's Tim Allison. Bobby Allen on the bottom.
Bobby Allen, I believe, won the first ever Kings Royal back about 15 years ago. There's Bobby out of Pennsylvania.
Nick Neighbor out of turn 2 around Sarah Fisher. She's not giving up yet, though. Boy, she's right in the middle of the racetrack. You can see the brown strip there. She's trying to use that to her advantage.
Oh, absolutely. She's hanging on to 3rd. But Nick Paulus really used that pole position to his advantage. He got out clean. Only traffic, which they will get into and already are, could be a problem
Oh,
for
look, right there, Tim Allison banging the wall up in 3 and 4, but it doesn't look like he hurt anything. He was taking a run at Bobby Allen. There's not really much of a cushion up there. It's just kind of a little bit of a moisture and a lot of dust, actually, and there's no berm like we saw last night to lean on.
Now, that is Bobby. There's Bobby Allen, the 1A car. Whoa. What a pretty racetrack, shimmering in the lights.
Oh, and Allison just about spun out there. Look at this. Sarah Fisher going back, trying to get back around Nick Neighbor. She's going to do it.
Yes, she is. What a gal.
White flag.
One more lap. One more lap. Sarah Fisher could transfer to the B main, and there is our leader. That is Brian Paulus out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, right near Williams Grove, where we bring you our annual sprint car coverage.
Well, he's in the back of the B main.
Yep, and the finals transfer spot is Bobby Allen. Bobby Allen now gets a little insurance. He moves up to 3rd. That puts Neighbor, the 6th car, in the transfer spot.
Neighbor really slowed those last few laps. He saw Sarah Fisher get by and Bobby Allen, so maybe he had some sort of a problem.
But there is your winner. That is Brian Paulus. He'll tag, so will Sarah Fisher, so will Bobby Allen, and so will Nick Neighbor in the 6th car out of Cincinnati. Wow. Good little C main, huh?
I'd say that guy got in the fence there.
What gave you your first clue, Dodie?
Well, the wing probably got caught up in the chain link fence when he slapped the wall and it flattened the tires. So.
Well, they're so weight conscious these days that those wings are made of O2 thin aluminum.
You know he's going to get back to us, crew chief? Just a racing deal? Just a racing deal.
Just one of them racing deals. Here's an expert on racing deals, Dave Reef.
Oh, I appreciate that moniker, Steve Evans. We've been talking all night about how tough this Kings Royal format is. It doesn't get explained any better than when you look at Andy Hillenburg. You were the 6th qualified car, finished 4th in the in your heat race, which would normally put you in the dash and in the A main, but not tonight. Is the car going to be okay?
I think so. They just changed the format, but nobody said winning $50,000 was going to be easy. So we qualified 6th, and we weren't operating very good in the heat race, and so we're in a V feature at Eldora again. Maybe we can make it through this and get to start the big event.
But you'll possibly get that time back. That's got to give you plenty of incentive. You can still start up there about 9th.
Yeah, 9th or 10th or somewhere. So it's 40 laps, and well, we've done it from 9th or 10th before, so I'll see if we can't do it again.
A main streak, hopefully going to be still alive following the B main, which is going to come up in just a little bit. Bobby Gerald?
All right, Dave. Joey Saldana has qualified for 4 Kings Royals in his career. His best finish was a 9th, but right now he's got some work to do if he wants to be in his 5th. And Joey, what do you think of your chances here in this one? You'll have a nice starting spot.
Yeah, well, sometimes starting on the inside isn't very good here because with the bank, the guy on the outside gets a good run. But I don't know. A couple guys have got a good run on the bottom, so maybe we can get a good run, beat Andy in the first corner. If you can do that, usually this place is tough to pass, and hopefully it just works out all the way.
You know that the traffic is going to be very thick. Will you have it right up there on the fence?
this place, that's the only place you can get going at. If you can't get up there on the wall, you can't get going. So if that's where I got to be, that's where I'm going to be.
Joey Saldana is always exciting. We expect nothing less here in the B main, Steve.
And Joey said it, if you can't get up to the wall, don't come to Eldora. We appreciate all those TNN banners, and we'll be right back to bring you more of the Kings Royal. It's called the B main.
Every so often, something comes along so good, it's almost evil. Something that can't be explained, but only embraced. The Outlaw Performance Fuel Additives. The Outlaw. The additive with attitude.
Welcome to the newest Pep Boys Automotive Super Center. On your right, a world-class collection of accessories. And moving along, you'll find the tires.
Impressive. Very. Right now, all 35,000-mile steel-belted radials, 4 for just $99. Any size, any 4, $99. With prices this low, you won't just like Pep Boys. You're gonna love it.
Pep Boys.
Cars like us.
People love us. Team Mopar. Parts for sprint cars and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar. Super truck and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar.
Millions of visitors every year agree when it comes to the Myrtle Beach area of South Carolina, variety's the key. From Shore Drive to Garden City. From fishing or camping to nightlife. The Myrtle Beach area of South Carolina, you can have it all. Call 1-800-217-2632 for your free Myrtle Beach area and South Carolina travel guides. Yeah!
Jac Haudenschild has got a lot of fans here at Eldora. A Buckeye who has won a lot of money. In fact, it's been almost an annuity for him. Okay, let's go down to the pits and talk to the winner of the C-Main.
Steve, talk about a racing deal. This is Brian Paulus's wallet, which unfortunately, Brian's a little bit lighter due to that first heat race thing. How frustrating is that for you tonight?
Well, you know, I mean, it could have been one of those deals is either leave off the gas and finish fourth or stand on it and hopefully not get into the wall and you make it into the big show.
Could have been worse, too, because you could have gone upside down and over.
Yeah, I didn't really look forward to getting on my lid.
Well, you're able to get that feature wing. Can you move up into the B?
Yeah, actually, I think we can. We've been real hot the last few weeks. I mean, the Verdelli Farms Arnold Transportation number 28 has just been up front. And if we can keep my head in as good as the car's running, we'd be in real good shape.
Splash of gas, they'll be ready to go here just shortly. Bobby Gerald standing by with our second place finisher.
That's right, and her name is Sarah Fisher. A nice run for her, and you've advanced now to tonight's B main event, but you got to start way back in the rear of this one. What do you think you can do in the B, Sarah?
Well, I hope that we can go around them on the outside. We got the car hooking up really nice now. And, you know, the meat car is just real nice this year. And we switched the brands of the car, and that made the world of difference. But we're having a little motor problems right now, and we hope to get over that in the B.
Joey Saldana just said that if you're not up on the fence here at Eldora, you're probably not going to be going forward. We're going to see you up on the fence here in the B.
He sure is right, and I hope I'll be up there.
All right. She's got her elbows up, and she will have the hammer down in the B main event, Sarah Fisher.
That is one neat kid, and she mentioned her motor, and her motor is a derivative of a Chevrolet small block, which the bulk of these engines are, 99% of them. There is, however, one Ford out there, and it will start on the pole of the Kings Royal. That's the 104X car of Jeff Swindell. There is also one Mopar, one Dodge-powered Sprinter out here. It hasn't been around for the past few races, but it's back.
In 1995, the Mopar nameplate entered open-wheel racing with an effort in the USAC Silver Crown class. 1 year later, in 1996, they claimed the USAC Silver Crown Championship. That same year, they entered World of Outlaw sprint car racing. And to date, to be frank, the results have been a little bit disappointing. But that could be about to change due to the people at Mopar Performance Parts Engineering, led by their manager, Lee Carducci. And Lee, good to see you here at Eldora this weekend. You're showcasing some new components that you've come up with. Tell us what you've got.
Yeah, we like to showcase our new cylinder block. As you can see, the block is fairly light.
can pick it up with one hand. I'd say that's light.
What we've done is everybody has told us that our Mopar engines have been pretty powerful, horsepower and torque-wise, but they've complained about the weight. So what we did was we went through and did a computer analysis of the block itself, did a finite element structure analysis on the computer, basically looking at the stresses and the loads. And what we decided to do was do a complete program, retooling the block, remachining it, and we saved about 30 pounds per casting. The other thing we've done is this car tonight will showcase our new cylinder head design. It's got a whole port configuration that was done on computational fluid dynamics, which is basically our computer program that tells us where the airflow should be, how the port configuration should be. We've then taken that port configuration, put it into a computer model. The computer model then drew us a complete cylinder head based on the water jack and the port configuration, and we grew it out of stereolithography. This is a completely paperless engine now when you consider it. It's all done by computer. From this design, we're able to go directly to casting and save quite a bit of weight. We project that the cylinder head will weigh about 19.7 pounds.
That's a great savings of weight. And if all that sounded a little bit technological for some of you sprint car fans, let's break it down for you here. The bottom line is the Mopar car is going to weigh less in the future, and that should mean that it's going to be faster. Thanks, Lee.
Thank you.
Wow. That was pretty impressive. Consider it costs thousands of dollars sometimes to take a single pound up on one of these cars.
30
If you can save 30 pounds in the motor package.
On just the block alone.
That's huge.
Oh.
On a funny car and drag racing these days, they tell me it takes like $10,000 a pound.
Yeah, and that new head's only 19 pounds. I mean, they're knocking off a ton of weight here.
Oh, boy, we're knocking off a ton of fun here in Eldora. But we'll be back with the start of the B main right after these words. Stay with us. TNN Motorsports.
The excitement of NASCAR Craftsman truck racing. Cool. The equally exciting performance of the vent visor deflector. Vent visor? Vent visor lets you crack the window to keep cool in the heat and dry in the rain. Cool. Vent visor installs in record time. Cool. With vent visor, your truck stays cool.
Hey, and it looks cool too.
Vent visor, the coolest thing on your truck.
And an official sponsor of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Now that's cool.
See shows by the seashore.
Now the sounds of the surf are accompanied by the sounds of over 100 shows and attractions. Call for your free Myrtle Beach Entertainment Holiday Planner and South Carolina Travel Guide. And see shows by the seashore.
Hi, I'm Gary Chapman, and I've been writing songs for over 20 years. It's a great way to make a living. And now here's your chance to break into the business. Enter the second annual TNN Country Songwriting Contest, and you could be on your way. Just ask last year's winning team.
We had our song recorded.
We've had a just great time. Win the grand prize, and you are off to Nashville to record at Emerald Studios with acclaimed producer Robert Ellis Orrell. You'll appear with me on TNN's Primetime Country and win all this Yamaha equipment, along with $5,000. To get your entry form, call 615-782-3456 or write to this address. Or visit TNN's website at country.com. Or you can even stop by a participating Yamaha dealer. It's easy. Send cassettes only with a lyric sheet. And listen, this is big. You'll receive a written evaluation from an industry professional for every song you send. So enter now. Sponsored by Boost, Yamaha, and NSAI.
July 25th on TNN Motorsports. With only a handful of races left, the points battle is heating up. But it doesn't matter if you're at the top or at the bottom, rookie or veteran, male or female. Someone is always looking for a pocket full of cash and a trip to victory lane. It's live Busch Grand National Racing. It's the Lycos.com 300, presented by Valleydale Foods. July 25th, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific on TNN Motorsports.
We're back live on TNN Motorsports, Rossburg, Ohio. They were bump starting the 22 combatants for the B feature. And joining us in the booth is Dave Blaney, a past World of Outlaws champion, a past Kings Royal champion, now a Busch Grand National driver. They called him the Buckeye Bullet. And this is the first Kings Royal in years that you haven't been in.
Well, it sure is strange to be up here watching it, but I got a little vested interest, I guess, and we're here to help him along.
Yep, and that would be the Amico team and your brother Dale, who's running for Rookie of the Year and would like to win a big race real soon.
Yeah, they're looking good. I think we'll be in the fourth row tonight, and he's been looking good all night. We're looking forward to it.
Speaking of rows, here's the lineup for the B. Brad Doty still up here with us. Brad, what we got?
Joey Saldana on the front row. Andy Hillenburg, you heard him say he's back in the B again. Greg Hodnett, Kenny Jacobs. Kenny Jacobs has won races here. Jeff Shepard, Brooke Tatnell from Australia.
And in row number 4, Jim Neer. The number 7 car is Kevin Huntley. Craig Delansky, big gun. On row 5, the 21G. 23S, Frankie Kerr. Danny Smith in row number 6, always stout out of Ohio. Number 4, 2L Ed Lynch Jr. Row number 7, Butch Schroeder. Schrader, he likes to be called now. 175. 50K is Chad Knema. Steve Sieber in the 36S, followed by Dave Freed, alongside Dave Freed in the 8F. Paul McMahon, that's the Mopar car. Number 75, 1C, Charlie Baker. Row number 10 is Brian Paulus. Brian came out of the C along with Sarah Fisher, the 28 and 9 car. Tough row to hoe. And for Bobby Scruffy Allen, Dave Blaney, there's a guy that still has a lot of fans in these stands.
Well, he's a great racer. I learned a lot racing with him, growing up watching him and talking to him. Great guy.
He doesn't run as many races as he used to. He actually won the Amoco Knoxville Nationals a few years back. Bobby, just an interesting character. Kevin Huntley in this thing is a two-time sprint car champ in another association. Let's go down to Bobby Jarrell. Bobby?
Well, here's Gary Stanton. And Gary, welcome back to the world of Outlaws here tonight. I know you came back behind the 8-ball in hot laps. You guys had a problem. Didn't get the qualifying lap that you wanted. And now you've got a long way to go here in the B main.
Yeah, the magneto went out on us in the qualifying in hot laps, and it got it fixed for the heat race, but it was too late, you know, so we're starting way in the back. We just haven't had that great a weekend.
Well, hopefully it's going to get better. A lot of technological advances hopefully going to make that Mopar car go a little faster.
We're sure hoping so. It's running pretty good. The motor's running great. We just had a bad magneto early, and it just messed our whole night up.
Unfortunately for this team, Paul McMahon did not get any hot laps, and he has not been at the Eldora Speedway since he crashed here last year. So heat races were the only laps Paulie's seen here at the Speedway since the crash.
And boy, that was a hard crash too, Bobby. He took a ground pounder, and it knocked the wind out of his sails for quite a while.
Now the reason, Dave Blaney, maybe you can explain while they're still idling these cars around the racetrack.
Well, the racetrack, they just went out and watered it right before the B main, and a little bit of slime or a little bit of film on top of the racetrack that lays there, and they just it takes the big tires to get it ground in.
Nobody wants to run the B main. It's like the plague. Fortunately, in your career, you avoided a lot of it. There were a few along the way.
Well, it depends on your situation. If your car's not feeling right, you know, you welcome the track time. It just depends on your situation that night.
Okay, well, there's only, 12 laps and 4 at transfer.
But they get their time back for the A main, though. That's the important thing.
We can start 9th or better.
Yeah. That's better than tagging the tail like these people coming out of the C main had to do for this B.
Isn't that the truth? So, Joey Saldana, the 17 car, Andy Hillenburg, who has not been in a whole lot of B mains. In fact, he's got a streak of 400 and some odd A features. 17 in the 2 car, down into turn number 1 and 2. Look at Joey Saldana.
Boy, got out to a nice big lead. Andy Hillenburg second. There's Kenny Jacobs in the 94, the red car in the middle of your screen. Greg Hodnett right there. Brooke Tatnell from Australia behind him.
Yep, Hodnett's in that final transfer spot, number 4.
That's Jeff Shepard. Jeff Shepard just moved past Brooke Tatnell for 4th. Boy, he's looking really good as he moves the inside of Hodnett there.
Looking at this race, Dave Blaney, do you see any way you could go down low as we look at second place? Any low groove here?
It's doubtful after they just put a little water on the racetrack. They can race pretty hard without spinning the wheel, so it's kind of a momentum track at the moment.
Andy Hillenburg and Kenny Jacobs battle for that 2nd and 3rd spot. There's Hillenburg, the 2 car, out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
Greg Hodnett there in the 11. That's been Jeff Shepard in the 4J. Shepard's got to come up with something if he thinks he's going to make it into the main event. That's Craig Delansky in the 21.
That's right. There's that battle again for 2nd.
Hillenburg is closing in.
Yep, Hillenburg is closing in. The black 2 car moving in on the 17 car. A 3 car battle now up front.
Yeah, and Jacobs isn't far behind Andy there. Boy, Joey Saldana is coming on a bunch of lap cars. If they don't leave the top line open for him, he could be in trouble.
It really doesn't. If you can just finish in that top 4, you're still going to get your time trial back to the A main.
Yeah, so they're not going to try anything crazy here.
But you want insurance. You don't want to be 4th.
Yeah.
Here's the fight at the front, the 17 car. Saldana, the 2 car, Hillenburg. Hillenburg goes down low. Slides up.
He's got it.
I don't know. Yeah, he does. You're right.
There, look at this. It slowed Joey up so bad there. Trying to turn it and get back under Andy that gave Jacobs a chance to catch him.
Dave Blaney, you find yourself trying to coach these guys a little bit. Do this, do that.
Well, it sure is easy from up here. You can see what we see a long ways ahead of them and what they maybe ought to be doing. But like I said, it's easy to say from here.
Yeah, when you're sitting in a seat, it's a whole different deal, isn't it, Dave?
Andy Hillenburg has taken the lead from Joey Saldana. Kenny Jacobs in third. Greg Hodnett, the 11H car, tenaciously hanging on to that bump spot. There he is.
And he's in pretty good shape right now. He doesn't have a fifth-place car too close to him.
Hillenburg coming up on traffic. Going down low as they slide high.
So that traffic's got him blocked. If you get a line on the outside here, yeah, he's going to make one.
He's got it. The soft-spoken Okie leading the B-main.
I'm crazy that he runs sort of like in the racetrack the way it is right now. He doesn't look like he's spinning a wheel. Running real straight. There's Andy again. That's off at turn 4. That's it. Andy Hillenburg wins it. There's Joey Saldana nips Greg Hodnett there for third.
Yep, Greg Hodnett can heave a deep sigh of relief. Kevin Delansky, the 21G car, is the first machine that does not make the break. Well, from watching that B-main, what kind of conclusions can you draw, Dave Blaney?
Conclusions? It's a normal Eldora racetrack. This race will be won right up along the concrete. The guy that can stay the smoothest and keep his momentum going the best.
We've been talking about how intimidating that wall can be, especially to drivers that maybe don't have your kind of experience. What about the wall at Eldora? Drivers talk about it all over the country.
Well, to me, it comes down to your race car. If you get it underneath of you and you feel confident where it's going to go, then you know where it's going to go. You can run you can run a foot from that concrete wall if you're sure it's going to stay there. But these cars will scare you a little bit. And you'll go right down to the middle. But you got to be pretty confident to get it up around the top.
You've always had the confidence. That's why you've been such a tremendous champion, including a world champion in the world of Outlaws. All right, you saw Andy Hillenburg getting ready to remove his helmet and safety gear. We'll talk to the man when we come back to the Kings Royal. Thank you for the graphic, young man. We'll be back.
Marty's here. Okay, let's see a fuel injector for a Ford Probe.
Multiport?
It's too easy. How about a gasket for a Yugo?
With sealer?
Lug nuts for a Lexus. A starter for a Saab. Focus. EGR valve for a 74 Gremlin. See you tomorrow, Marty.
Pep Boys.
Cars like us.
People love us.
Every so often, something comes along so good, it's almost evil. Something that can't be explained, but only embraced. The Outlaw Performance Fuel Additives. The Outlaw. The additive with attitude. When the job is tough, you need the best. And when you need the best, you reach for channel lock. For the power. The precision. For just plain counting on, there's only one. Channel lock. Reach for it.
You heard about the high endurance deodorant challenge from Old Spice? It's great at stopping odor. But what if you got to stop sweat? Well, now High Endurance makes a powerful new antiperspirant. A white solid that goes on clear. See? No white flakes. So you can stay dry without the white mess you get from some other antiperspirants. Guaranteed. Or call 1-800-PROVE-IT and Old Spice will buy you a stick of yours. So take the challenge. Because this is more than just an antiperspirant. This is the high endurance of antiperspirants.
Welcome back. They're putting a little water on the high groove at Eldora. That could change the whole complexion of the A-main to come. Well, thank you very much. Lots of nice fans, lots of nice folks here at Eldora, and everybody seems to have a banner and a Brad Doty t-shirt. Brad Doty has left us momentarily for a big surprise that we promised you last night. It'll be coming up just prior to the A main. Let's go down to Bobby Jarrell with Andy Hillenburg.
Andy Hillenburg wins tonight's B main event. He is in the King's Royal, and Andy, you'll be starting somewhere right around mid-pack, probably in the 5th row for tonight's run. And I know you didn't even want to have to be in that last one, but you did a nice job.
Well, thanks. Car's a little better. We just had a little too salt the bar in the heat race, and we were out to lunch. That's all there is to it. We missed the race, so we were in the B main, and car feels a little better. So if we start, I don't know, 40 laps. We start 10th, 12th, 13, 14, somewhere along in there. We ought to, I don't know, if we have some luck, we ought to be all right.
Did you get a chance to check out your tires after the race? How was the tire wear?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Earl watered the tractor before the B and actually kept the dust down a little bit. And this is the way Eldora is supposed to be. It's supposed to be slick and right up against the fence, and that's the way it's going to be for the main event.
And Andy Hillenburg has been getting progressively better at this racetrack. Dave Reef?
Yes, he has, Bobby Gerald. If you were with us for last night's TNN Motor Madness telecast, you saw this man, Jac Haudenschild, win the 30-lap dash, or excuse me, the 30-lap race from the pole. Tonight, though, with 40 laps, you only finished 4th in the dash. Can you come from 4th?
Well, I think we can. The car's running real good, and force a good starting spot, and then the track's real wide, so I think you're going to be able to race on it good.
How do you approach this thing? Is it patience early, aggressiveness late, or is it aggressive all the time?
Well, you're pretty aggressive all the time. You're going to have to keep up with them and not let them get too far ahead, and hopefully you'll be right there at the end.
Starting on the outside of the second row, is the outside of the advantage to be able to get in the old car wound up?
Well, sometimes they can get to jump on the bottom with you, but I think the outside will be just fine.
Most importantly, are you feeling $50,000 lucky tonight?
Yeah, I think so. The Jack and Carol Eldon car has been fast all year, and I think it's going to be fast tonight.
It was tough last night. Guarantee you guys he'll be tough again tonight.
You can believe that. As I said, joining us in the booth is Dave Blaney. And Dave, that was your Buckeye buddy, Jac Haudenschild. This race has always been good for Ohio drivers. What do you think that is? Just track experience?
Track experience is big here. The longer you run here, the more experience, the more confidence you get. It seems to pay off big time. You can just see it in the results.
Okay, I'm going to let you be the handicapper here. Let's start with Jeff Swindell and the Ford-type vehicle. What do you think?
I get in trouble handicapping.
Oh, come on. 10 to 1?
We'll put him 10 to 1.
10 to 1. Okay, how about Sammy Swindell?
We better put him about 3 to 1.
3 to 1. Okay, this is feedback information, folks. How about Steve Kinzer?
Better make him and Jack 2 to 1.
I think so. And Haudenschild?
He'll go 2 to 1.
Okay, how about the Pennsylvania boys, Stevie Smith?
Wait,
they can't all be 2 to 1.
The odds are getting big after that.
Okay, now give me a long shot in the top 10.
Dale Blaney.
Your brother? Give me another long shot.
Joey Saldana.
Okay, well, I'll give you one. How about Andy Hillenburg? He's starting clear back in 10th, but I'll bet you that boy can get up to 3rd or 4th. What do you think?
There's a bunch. You never know what's going to happen. With Sammy, Steve, and Jack in the first 4, they're running for the win as far as I'm concerned. The rest of them, they'll get what they can get.
Won't be long before we find out how accurate those predictions were. Okay, as they continue to get the cars ready that tagged out of the B to go into the A, that's the delay. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with a big surprise that involves Brad.
Maalox tablets.
Eat and run. The story of my life. And so's heartburn. Good thing I've got Maalox tablets. They work like my liquid antacid. They relieve fast.
When you can't get to your liquid antacid, there's only one tablet with the same fast-acting ingredients. Maalox chewable tablets, not Tums or Rolaids. So when you need fast relief, remember the speed of Maalox tablets.
Thanks, Maalox. Just in time.
For heartburn or acid indigestion, count on the fast relief of Maalox tablets.
Team Mopar. Parts for sprint cars and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar. Team Mopar. Parts for NASCAR Super Truck and your vehicle. Get real. Get Mopar.
Monday on Primetime Country.
And this show is going to the dog.
It's a doggone good time with Waylon Jennings, Jerry Reed, Bobby Bear, and Mel Tillis.
Join us.
Primetime Country, Monday on TNN.
Know what's going on at Opryland, USA? What's going on at Opryland, USA? A lot.
Packages start at just $199 per person. Use your American Express card and receive a coupon book valued at over $200.
We're back. More Jac Haudenschild fans. I'll tell you what, he's got plenty of them. Of course, this is his home state. A little bit of delay right now. It's pretty normal, actually, because Earl Baltus, that owns this joint, wants the racers and you fans watching TNN Motorsports live at home to have as good a racetrack as possible. For $50,000, Earl's not going to risk any kind of a chuck hole, any kind of a problem with his racetrack. You know, in last night's show and in past shows this season, we've been trying to bring you some of these drivers in a little more personal fashion. Dave Reeve had a chance to sit down with Greg Hodnett, who drives the 11H car out of Memphis, Tennessee. He's a good kid.
When the 1998 Pennzoil World of Outlaw season started, Greg Hodnett had some pretty high hopes. Why not? Just got a brand new sponsor for the season, and he's coming off a second place finish at the Amoco Knoxville Nationals. But Greg, things haven't quite gone the way you want them to this year.
No, they haven't. They've been a bit disappointing, but here in the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple top fives in the last 2 weeks, and had 2 track records, and been up in the dash and been finishing a lot better. We just not quite where we need to be, but we're going to keep going after it though.
It just seems like it's more dumb luck than anything.
Yeah, I'm kind of putting myself in a bad position a lot of times on the racetrack, trying to force things to happen. And in this game, you can't force things that aren't supposed to happen. So a lot of times I've gotten in a couple bad crashes, and unfortunately, it's cost the team a lot of money and a lot of extra work. But I'm trying to use my head a little bit more, maybe use a little bit more patience. And if we aren't fast enough to be there, then I'm trying to hold back and say, well, I guess we got to take this position. It's trying to force it, like I said.
Vyvern wasn't the only thing that came along in the off-season. You also got married. Congratulations.
Well,
why don't you tell me about your wife?
Her name's Laura, and we've been basically started going out right after high school, and been pretty much going out for about 10 years before we did get married. So it was a long time coming, but it's great. Greatest thing since sliced bread, I guess you could say. But yeah, we're really enjoying it and having a great time.
And you've known her for quite a bit. She's a Memphis girl as well. That's where you grew up and did all your playing around as a kid. What kind of things did you do?
Back in, we had a youth sports league, which was a county sports league, and I played football, baseball, ran track, swam, you name it. That's what we did. We didn't know anything else. We didn't watch too much TV. We just kind of, did stuff outside, either playing baseball with the kids around the neighborhood or football or just whatever. Just anything to have a good time and stay active.
And the best thing about all this is you've got plans past sprint car racing. You've got an engineering degree from Memphis State.
Yeah, I do. I spent I was on the 5-year plan in college. It took a little bit longer than anticipated, but yeah, I went ahead and finished school before I started racing full-time professionally, and I think in the long run it'll work out for me.
What will you do then if you ever get back into that engineering field?
I'm not real sure, to be honest with you. I wouldn't mind going back and get a master's in business administration, and then I could kind of do whatever I really wanted to, because it's very it's in demand right now. So, basically, I think I can try to learn about anything if someone's willing to teach me. So, if I have to do that for a living, then I just kind of pick up where everybody let me work.
You mentioned things are picking up on this team, and what a time to get hot here at the Month of Money. You could salvage this year with a few good feature finishes, couldn't you?
Yeah, we really could. I mean, like you said, basically the 2 biggest races a year are coming up, and if a guy could do pretty well in those, it could turn a season, financially anyway, right around. So we're really looking forward to getting this thing going and hopefully doing well this month.
And there is that 11H Vyvern car being prepared for one of the richest races of the year as we enter this month of money. And of course, TNN, we've kind of bracketed this whole month with the coverage of the first big money race tonight, the Kings Royal. Then later on in August, we'll be at the Amoco Knoxville Nationals, both Friday and Saturday night. Let's go down to Bobby with a man trying to make it 2 in a row and 5 total in the Kings Royal.
That's correct, Steve. And he is also the only driver to qualify for every Kings Royal, which means one of 2 things. Steve, you're either real good or you're getting older.
I think it's the second thing. I'm getting older.
No, I think it's that he's real good. We all know that. Steve, you're starting 3rd in tonight's Kings Royal race, and what do you think of your chances to win your 5th?
Well, I think I got as good as anybody. We'll just, I don't guess anybody will know until 40 laps is up here. We've been running awful good the last 3 weeks, so let's hope we keep this Quaker State car right up front and take some more of Earl's money home.
40 laps is a long time. The 10 extra laps, you guys probably only see that 3 or 4 times during the season. Does it change any of your race strategy?
I like running the longer races myself. I think some of them's a little bit too short when you get to running some 20, 30 lap stuff. When it comes to the big races, I think they all ought to be 40 laps, but they're not, and it's just the way it is.
All right, go get some Earl's money.
Let's hope so.
All right, Steve Kinser's ready.
I have seen that man hundreds of times before sprint car races, and I see a face of confidence. Ladies and gentlemen, roll tape on your VCRs, because when we come back, you're going to see a very special moment. I guarantee it.
The Myrtle Beach area of South Carolina is thrilling, chilling, fun in the sun, racing, chasing for everyone, gliding, sliding, and adrenaline high, roaring, soaring from sea to sky, whining, dining for 60 miles, dancing and prancing. Come catch the smiles. The Myrtle Beach area of South Carolina is waiting for you with thousands of incredibly fun things to do. Call 1-800-217-2632 for your free Myrtle Beach area and South Carolina travel guides. Yeah!
Welcome to the newest Pep Boys Automotive Super Center. On your right, a world-class collection of accessories. And moving along, you'll find the tires.
Impressive.
Very.
Right now, all 35,000-mile steel-belted radials, 4 for just $99. Any size, any 4, $99. With prices this low, you won't just like Pep Boys.
You're gonna love it. Pep Boys. Cars like us. People love us.
Hi, I'm Gary Chapman, and I've been writing songs for over 20 years. It's a great way to make a living. And now here's your chance to break into the business. Enter the second annual TNN Country Songwriting Contest, and you could be on your way. Just ask last year's winning team.
We had our song recorded.
We've had a just great time. Win the grand prize, and you are off to Nashville to record at Emerald Studios with acclaimed producer Robert Ellis Orrell. You'll appear with me on TNN's Primetime Country and win all this Yamaha equipment, along with $5,000. To get your entry form, call 615-782-3456 or write to this address. Or visit TNN's website at country.com. Or you can even stop by a participating Yamaha dealer. It's easy. Send cassettes only with a lyric sheet. And listen, this is big. You'll receive a written evaluation from an industry professional for every song you send. So enter now. Sponsored by Boost, Yamaha, and NSAI.
Promotional consideration provided for and a fee paid by this special offer from Diamond D.
And they walked away 5. The most intense racing action on asphalt, dirt, and water. It's non-stop excitement to thrill the entire family. And they walked away 5 puts you in the driver's seat for the high-speed thrills of NHRA, monster trucks, NASCAR, boats, and more. Call 1-800-507-1800 now, and you'll receive Top Fuel Sensations absolutely free. Experience the exciting sights, sounds, and smells of America's fastest sport. Over 2 hours of exciting racing action for only $19.95. Call 1-800-507-1800 now.
We're back. The crowd anticipating a very special moment involving our broadcast partner, Brad Doty, that is still being set up. And Dave Blaney, your next race in your Busch Grand National car is what, Indianapolis Raceway Park?
Right, a couple weeks at IRP and ready to get going.
And we should explain, folks, that he's not just out here as a spectator. You still own the team, the Amico team, driven by your brother Dale.
Right, Dale and Ken Woodruff and the whole Amico team are out here running, and we'll see what we can do in the main. Hopefully they can get it to the front.
I'll let you go down there and help. Thanks for joining us.
Well, it's a pleasure. I tell you, this is a lot of fun and probably the most relaxed I've been 20 minutes before the King's Royal. I'll tell you that.
Okay, man, have a great time.
Thank you.
Let's go down and see what Stevie Smith thinks about the King's Royal tonight.
Well, Steve, let's find out just exactly what they got in plans for the field tonight, the Black Bandit car. Steve, how do you feel going into this thing? Are you relaxed and ready to roll?
Well, I'm as relaxed as you can get here at Eldora, but the car's about 90%. If we can get another 10% out of it, I'll feel a lot better. So we're working towards that, just trying to get a little bit faster.
Do you really go after this $50,000?
Oh, yeah. This is the only race we're focused on right now. The rest of the races, we're just doing one race at a time, and this is a big paying race, so we're going to go all out for it.
How does the car feel so far? You mentioned in the heat race it maybe wasn't quite as well as you like it. Did you guys make some changes?
Yeah, we're changing tires and using a little different strategy, so we're going to hope they're the right way anyway.
And the old man got anything in plan that he haven't told you about, you don't think?
Well, no, he tells me everything. He's working hard, so I'm going to do the best job for him I can.
He's had a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth. That second coming in 1992. We'll see how he does tonight after 40 laps.
And that is one team, father and son, that are capable of building an entire sprint car from the ground up. They can build their own motors. They can do virtually anything in-house if they have to. But lately, they've actually gone to a motor that they purchased from Bob Westphal to try to get a little bit back on track with their chassis and not have to worry so much about everything themselves. Let's go down to Bobby Gerald with a young man. A lot of the kids in this crowd are rooting for, because look at him. He's a kid.
Yes, he is. And this is his first Kings Royal A main event. The first time you qualified for this one, Tyler. What do you think about all this?
Well, I'm just trying to stay relaxed and starting 16th, so I got a ways to go. But we got 40 laps, and I'll just do my best to get up to the front. The Aircept car, you know, felt real comfortable in the heat race, and Ricky and Scott and Bruce and Jack doing a great job. Car's been real drivable, and it's pretty much up to me to go to the front, and I'll just do my best.
$50,000 is a lot of dough. You could buy a lot of hair dye with that.
Yeah, and I could buy a motorhome with that too. That's what I'm saving up for next. So that'd be nice, you know. If I'm not going to go out there and tear anything up, I'm going to go hard and go strong and see what we can do.
Good luck to you, Tyler.
Thank you.
That may be the heaviest foot in the entire field tonight in the Kings Royal. You know, last night, even a little bit tonight, you heard Brad Doty talk about the Eldora slide. Well, what exactly is the Eldora slide? Does it only happen here? Well, Dave Reef talked to Danny the Dude Lasoski about it.
It wasn't all that long ago that the slide job was kind of frowned upon as a way of passing. But in today's world of outlaw racing, the slide job is a way of life. It's got to be done to move up in the feature. It's an art form, and here to help us explain a little bit about the slide job is Danny Lasoski. Danny, that's a pretty crazy move. How do you guys pull it off?
Well, Dave, there's 3 different types. First of all, there's the original one that we use here at Eldora, which is the one where you get a good run off a 2. You run up behind the guy. When you get to the back pit gate, you turn the thing, you drive it wide open down across the bottom. When you get almost to the cushion, you turn the car again, make sure the right rear is spinning, and drive off. Second, let's call that the checkup one. You run down the backstretch again, you get right to 2, you turn the car down, and right as your competitor's here, you get and you hang the right rear out, and he's got to check up or eat it, one of the 2. You know, so that's number 2. Number 3 is what I like to call take them out. You